Hello, 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 and we're back. Basically, I'm just posting the story to tell everyone on Instagram that I am coming online. Trying not to get distracted by Instagram because that's the other issue. And then we will get the second, desk view going here. So happy Mother's Day to anyone who celebrates, and if it's a tough day for you all, happy Sunday. I get it. I've also decided that we're going to do some top stitching here. We're just going to do all of these blue wallets with the card pocket guts with white. I think it'll be fine. I'm just going to do a sewing this way link because I am tired. So what we're going to do is we're going to log in here and we're going to use the login join stream link, and then we're going to plug the phone in so it doesn't die, deplete its battery. We're going to turn down my phone so that it doesn't echo across, and then we're going to throw it in the cradle and see the view we can get. So basically I am just going to be online until the kids are in bed. Dallas is doing bedtime tonight. And then I will head upstairs just because that will be more relaxing for me. Okay, so we've got live scene here. Time to turn on the collab cam. Oh, no, I do not want to delete it. Thank you. It's like you want to delete this, right? No, I do not. All right, actually got that set pretty good right off the bat. And then I'm going to go in and get my live stream rolling on the actual YouTube channel. Oh, I want to save it to my watch later. I just want to... There. And then... Okay, good. The chat is live today, and I've got it so that I can see it hopefully on both screens here, and we should be good. All right, so what we're doing right now is we are still... Hi, I'm Katie. This is the Atelier Nikazuki live stream, and I apparently have some sort of solid goober in my eye. So we're going to try and get that out. What we've been working on the last couple days, or the last week, is getting Kimono and Obi stuff all ready to go for the kimono market that is in Calgary on May 19th, put on by the NJCA, the New Japanese Canadian Association. And so that's what we've been focusing on. I am going to stitch these at the recommended seam allowance for the top stitch, which is 1/8 of an inch. The other ones I did at 1/4 inch, but they were consistent, so realistically that's what mattered. As long as they all match, who cares, sort of thing. And we're just going to work through these right now. I've already got the exteriors and flaps sewn for these, except for the rainbow one, which actually I need to go in and seam rip because the flap didn't get caught. And then I was like, oh, I can fix it by just shuffling it up or stitching further down on the actual stuff, and no, that of course did not work. So now I've got 3, count it, 3 seams to rip out instead of just 1. I'm just like, oh. So last night, actually, let's go in and seam rip it right now before I get any further, else I am not going to seam rip it and get this done. And I really want to get it done because this color in here is not going to be true on camera right now, but it is so spectacular. It's like this really gorgeous tealy blue green, and then it's got this watercolor. It's basically like a really cool kind of watercolor rainbow almost. So the one good thing is I do not need to rip out the whole thing. We only really need to rip out the flap and all that. So let's get this turned here back out to where it needs to be. And then there we go. So yeah, we got 3 seams to rip out now, but I'm only going to rip out the actual flap because that's where we actually got to do the extra stitching. Yeah, I can even feel the fact that it didn't get caught in here, so, you know, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to actually pull the thread catcher over here, and we are just going to head down and get this done. If I go a little bit quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. I really do not like seam ripping on interfacing, and it's like really hard to do it against the fabric, because of course I don't want to tear the fabric either, because that's not good. And like sometimes when you tear the fabric, you tear the interfacing, and it's just it tends to be so messy. So today was 5K day. We will not be doing this race again. It's run by like one of the bigger run organizers in Calgary, but it was not well organized. Their PA system, you couldn't hear anything. And the thing about this race is there's a lot of new runners, or at least like this is the kind of, sounds like it's a lot of people's like one and done race for the year. Whatever, doesn't matter. It was poorly organized, or poorly, I don't know. It feels like there's some things they could have done to just make it more straightforward for everyone involved. Like there was corral colors, but because you couldn't hear the like PA system, I ended up in the back with a bunch of runners, which for someone who wants to go for a time is not conducive for me to get a time. And seeing how the corrals were set up, I did not understand that I could like make my way forward to actually run, not outside the runners. So it's just, I feel like there was a few things that could have been communicated in like email or something like that pre-race that would have cleared a lot up. We also had a bit of concern because smoke blew in this morning, or like last night, and so it was like super smoky in downtown Calgary this morning, like to the point where OdaFest, which is the anime convention that's on this weekend, was like, we are moving all outdoor events indoors today, thank you, all at the same time, just because of the smoke, we cannot host them outdoor safely. So that was hanging over the head. They at least did send an email saying that the event was going to go ahead. And that is the one announcement that I did hear this morning, was that if anyone was running the 10K and they were having difficulties because of the smoke, to just turn at the 5K mark, and they could just run the 5K if they wanted. So I don't know. So I lost about, because I lost about a minute in front of the mall. But I still came in my fastest postpartum 5K that I've done. So that's good too. It's not like I've been doing speed training. Like last year was all endurance training, because training for a marathon and a half are extremely different from training for a 5K or a 10K even. Where basically for a 5 or 10K, if you've got a heart monitor, you just want to go out and run as hard as long as you can. Now I did end up taking basically walk intervals, which is fine because I've PB'd with walk intervals before. Definitely hit the point of also like, if I do not take a walk interval here, I may drop dead. Not literally, but it definitely felt like it. And yes, I am totally wearing a sweater right now because I have shorts on, and we cranked the AC because we had people over for the youngest's birthday today. So like I am going to freeze in the basement if I don't put a sweater on. All hyperboles, obviously, for the drama yama. Anyway, it was a decent race, but we will not be repeating it. It's also on Mother's Day, so it's like, ugh. But the pancakes afterwards were good. They didn't even have beer at the end of this one, so come on. Oh, now I know it's a lot of volunteer based, so thank you so much for the volunteers. This is not their fault. I just think, and we've also been spoilt by Run Disney. They just know how to do stuff. So there's definitely a little bit of that. But there are also better run events in Calgary. So I don't think we're going to do it again. It's also kind of, I don't know. I'll show you the medal, because the medal's right here, so that's kind of cool. And then the kids did get to go do their own like race too. So this is the run medal. I did the 5K. least it's a dated medal and it's not like just a generic Mother's Day run medal. But I was just underwhelmed by the experience. The kids were super excited to race their race though, so that was cute. And they got it done, and they got their own medals, and they got some cute swag from actually the sign up. And yeah. So that'll be the goal over the day. And this was already the goal for the next year, is like I'm going to work on like that zone 2 heart rate training, which will make me more, like it'll improve my aerobic fitness, which will mean that I will get faster naturally, simply because my baseline is like the training should make my baseline higher. That's the intention. So, or at least the point of that zone training there, given that like last year I was zone 3 for endurance, basically. I was just like, I don't need to go fast. I just need to go log. And that's more or less what I've been training for the past, like since Disney, since I've got a half in 2 weeks as well. Yay. In exactly 2 weeks. Yay. Well, we'll at least be done the half in 2 weeks. Yay. And Dallas will be done his first, like, so when we ran, oh, that just sliced the actual Obi on there. Okay. Well, that is fully in timeout then until I figure out what I'm going to need to do then. Is I'm going to need to go in and actually put a new piece on the backing of that. Let's do this next round of, let's just get in and top stitch the pockets instead of trying to tear out stitches. This is why stuff goes into timeout. So now it is officially in timeout. Anyway, yeah, 2 weeks from now, Dallas will run his first actual marathon, because with the Dopey Challenge, which was both our first marathons, he ran at my pace, and my pace is obviously significantly slower than his. He's expecting to do like a sub 4 marathon, and I am excited that everything is saying that I might be able to do a sub 3 half. But he's also been training for a marathon a lot longer, so considering that realistically I didn't do any, like my first half marathon was in October, so it's fine, it's all good. And it is what it is, considering how brutal the sicknesses that have come home this year have been and everything like that. So it did feel, now the one nice thing is because I'm doing when you didn't miss much beyond me messing up a couple things last night. We're working on more guts for the wallets, basically. So right now I'm doing the top stitching on the card pockets for the wallets, and I was cat probleming my race this morning that was not well organized. My husband and I went and did a 5K this morning. It did feel good to run though, because I've been doing a lot of like spin and yoga, because my spin studio has a 30-day challenge on right now, which is 30 classes in 30 days. And so I haven't been running as much recently, because it's also like, well, I'll take advantage of that and basically taper myself off for the half. So it felt good to go for a run this morning. It was a race. It was red line. There was no like endurance in this one. And I did actually get so I've got like 2 categories. I've got my PBs that were pre-children, prenatal, and then I've got my postpartum PBs. So I postpartum PB today, which is actually awesome. Not by much, but by enough. That's a new personal record. Because realistically, my body has changed significantly since my last PB. That was like quite a while ago. And then we went and we had fluffy pancakes, because I was like, well, if we're doing a race, there's this fluffy pancake restaurant that's right across the road. And I run for food and bling and beer, and there was no beer at this event, and the bling is kind of mediocre. I don't have a lot of good things to say about this event. I'm sorry. If this is your favorite event, please ignore me. I welcome you to ignore me, but just meh for me. If you want a good event in Calgary to race, Stampede Road Race in July, it's the first Sunday of Stampede, is like so good. Such a good race. And then they feed you pancakes, and there's still no beer, which is a failing considering it's a Stampede race. There's lots of beer around the city, I guess. I should tell Dallas we should go for a beer afterwards, because obviously end of race beers are amazing. But yeah, if you're looking for a really fun race and good energy, that was part of it this morning, is that it was like the energy of the event was just kind of, I feels like a lot of people got coerced into actually doing it. It's like, Mom's asked us to go do this 5K or whatever. And yeah, most of the time there's more excitement. Anyway, I sound like I'm being really harsh on it. I am, because personally it just didn't hit the right notes for me. So we just won't do it again next year. That's all. The kids got to do theirs though, and they're really happy with their medals. It was awesome, because our youngest didn't want to like actually take the medal off until well after we were home. Basically went until we cut their birthday cake. So we came home, we did the youngest's birthday party. It's been a busy day. And now I'm downstairs sewing until Dallas basically puts the kids to bed, so that I don't have to deal with kids going to bed tonight. I like this plan. Okay, now I need to just look at my instructions over here. Like I said, I'm totally cat probleming the race, but it was the factor of like there's a lot of new runners, and not a lot of clear communication of what they actually wanted from us. So even as seasoned runners, and I'm not going to say like we're perfect either. There's always like unknown factors when you go, but it was like, as people who have done a lot of races, at least, it was confusing. So I think it was a lot of things that could have been mitigated by a better PA system, so you could actually flip and hear them. Sorry, I'm looking for my... I was working down here last night. Where is it? There it is. Like, I need this. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that they could have like mitigated by just communicating a few things before you get to the event, sort of thing. That's all they need. I don't know. It's also one of those situations that I know that if you like send an email, like not everyone is even going to read it, right? So I don't know how you solve that sort of thing. Yeah, it was busy today, but May is just busy. We got a lot of birthdays. We've got the marathon at the end of the month, and it's just like, oh, buckle in, buckos. We're busy. I've also got an event next Sunday. That's why we're working on all these wallets. And I'm hoping to actually get the remainder of the products from like the large box bags that I finished in mid-April photographed and into an update for, I guess it'll be end of May at this point. So how this is going to go down right now is what I'm foreseeing is I will continue to stream this next week. I have the event on the 19th for the Kimono Festival, Kimono Fair, and then I'm going to go offline for a week, and I'm going to plant my garden, actually have a little bit of vacation-ish, or whatever I want to call it, I guess, staycation, and then I will be, and that doesn't mean I won't be working, but it does mean that I will be doing it mostly off live stream. So nothing scheduled, just kind of ticking along with a few of the like background things. Oh right, these are supposed to be basted. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, you'd think I'd never sewn these before, but I definitely am not in practice, because the last time I sewed these was last summer. Yeah, I might be on, I might not be on. I want to photograph everything to get into an update. Obviously, I'd said originally mid-May, and then I said beginning of June, because I was like, I'll finish some Kato. I'm not going to finish a lot more Kato, but I will do an update for the middle of June, because... or not middle of June, beginning of June is when it will happen now. And that will hopefully include these wallets as well. As long as they don't sell it at this event. That would be even better as if they just sell it at the event, obviously. Because then I wouldn't have to photograph them. By the way, if you ever see anything on the stream that you wish to purchase, I can 100% put it through the shop. But if I don't have to photograph it, that's always way better. So never hesitate if you see something that's like, I need that in my life. Don't hesitate to like let me know. And the best way to do that is I can provide the email address through the chat, or you can just DM me on Instagram is actually probably the best way to do it. So here we are. We're cranking along on stuff, having a busy month. And that's okay too. April was a busy month. May is a busy month. June's going to be a busy month. Kids are in summer camps in July and August. That's going to be really good for stream. I will be on stream every single day Dallas is at work, July through August. So if you're not tired of me by then, I don't know when you'll be, but thank you. I will be back on my training schedule at that point. So basically just like subscribe and hit the bell icon because that will tell you when I come on live, or come follow me on Instagram because that will tell you. I'll always post a link on Instagram when I'm coming live as well. So those two options are actually the best way to find out where I'll be. Yes, I did find the mermaid one. Thank you. I will show it to you actually in a couple minutes. I've got it actually sewn together as well. I know, right? I did actually sit down and I was on longer last night than I anticipated. It was a terrible night's sleep, even for being like tired and ready for bed. Just like, well, that didn't help the race effort either, to be honest. Of course. Okay, so what we're doing right now is I'm just basting down all these pockets so they don't slip slide. While we're doing the rest of the work with them, they need to have their actual card slot sewn on them. I don't know why I backstitched that. We'll trim them down to the correct height, and then we'll sew them onto the card back. And I can show you the mermaid right here. It is actually spectacular. Turned out really well. So there's the flap. So now obviously this is actually the way that the pattern is supposed to roll, with the shells kind of going up. It's a very traditional Japanese pattern, but obviously leaning into that mermaid scale was the right decision. And then it's got the really nice pattern here. Isn't showing up, but it's like little, it's very subtle. It's little like bubble dots everywhere. And then the interior is going to be a very gentle pink. You will not see a lot of this pink when it's sewn together because it all kind of goes into the that stuff, the interior, and into the side seams. That's where it goes mostly. All right, so this is a little bit wonky up top, so I'm going to trim this down so that it's actually straight here. And then the one, I can't remember which one we trimmed down over there. I think it was the speckles that we trimmed down. Basically, this has to be approximately the right height before I sew it together at the bottom. But, so yeah, I'm going to take that, like, edge off, and then I will do it correctly from there. And then, yeah, so that is actually this one has quite a bit of excess fabric. Yeah. And then, how are you guys looking? Okay, so so we trimmed down the speckled one, so let's use it as the template for this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that top pocket. No, we're not. I'm going to line up the tops here. And then, actually, if I line up the bottom here, because both the bottoms are straight, does that align the top pockets, or at least align them more or less? Okay, yeah, there's the top pocket alignment. Top pocket alignment, perfect. Because that is the line that's going to tattle on us if we don't have it lined up as much. They are across the wallet, so you shouldn't see it too much, but you know, it's going to be what people noticed randomly. Okay, there we go. Trimmed down. And I think that that's okay up here as well. We're good. We're good. I can sew this down. Add its stitch length or seam allowance. Okay, and then this one needs to be actually sized down as well. I think it's the right width. Yeah, we're good on width. And there is the correct height. And neither of these has an insane... Alright, because we already trimmed it down. We're good. I'm like, there's no insane like dips around up here, but we're good. Because I already trimmed it Might not have even been this piece. It was the piece I did last, isn't it? Oh well. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to clip these together with the top pockets aligned at minimum. They should realistically all be aligned if I've done my work properly, which I cannot tell. It looks like it. I think so. Yeah, there we go. Shimmied into position. Then we're going to shimmy these ones into position. Make sure those side seams are decently straight with each other. That one needs to be trimmed down a little bit just on that bottom edge. Yeah. Okay, is that right? Or is something else wonky? No, yeah, that one needs to, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down on the bottom here, and then we'll sew it together, and then we'll do the proper trim up afterwards. Okay, and this needs a tuck in this direction. This is the fiddly bit. The actual wallets themselves, once all this work is done, come together so fast, it's not even funny. I don't know why I'm actually trimming down the second size, because realistically, I can just do the seam allowance sew here, and then I can trim it down afterwards. Done. And clipping, and then we'll trim this down, and then we'll trim down these non-straight edges when I open it up. Sweet, there we go. All right. Then we're going to trim it up here, which will actually take care of a little bit of the warble that the basting stitch revealed. There we go. Now I got to clip it back down because it's still got to be basting stitched. So these get stitched to the card back. I've got to double check to make sure. Well, first we're going to do the card slot stitch line. There we go. Okay. Basting stitch, card slot stitch line. And then we're good. Let's just double check here. Yeah, we're good, we're good, we're good. Sweet. Okay. Let's see what I need to do here. I've got text messages. Excellent. Wrong side, wrong side. Stitch it. Okay, so they should be that by that. Okay. They should be that wide. So they're ever so slightly not. They're off of that. Okay. Excellent. But they are the right height, right? They better be the right height. Okay, they're damn close to the right height. So I do need to go in and just square up the height. We're going to square it up based on... That doesn't work because it's not quite right. Okay, so it's supposed to be that. That is the halfway point on the ruler. Okay, so this needs to be trimmed down right there. And this needs to be straight trimmed up right here, because apparently we are slightly off there still. And then the edges are happy enough. Okay, sweet. The edges are going to get taken up when I actually sew them into the wallet. So we're not worrying about the raw edges right now because they get sewn into the actual wallet. That does... Okay, so I am going to... That is technically straight, but it is not square. There we go. To the wallet, like the card slot. So I'm going to make sure that these are straight to the card slot, because otherwise it looks wonky when I sew it in. There we're good. And then we're going to do this one here. Just make sure, because if I need to trim anything else down, now is the time to do it. Straight, straight, a little bit extra on the top there. And actually it looks like it is all on the top, so we'll trim it down from there. Straight, straight, straight. There's a little bit extra there. We're going to ignore that. Good. Okay. It's like 1/8 of an inch, but that will make, yeah. More prep work right now means less work for me in about 15 minutes. Actually, it's going to be longer than that because we're going to actually go through and do all of the sewing of all these guts. And we're going to do all the sewing of everything else as well. Because then why I want to do that is because I only want to have to heat up my iron once. So we're going to get everything else assembled to the point of like needing irons, and then I will go in and heat up the iron and iron everything, and then we'll go in and we'll like do all the finishing. But like I said, once these are actually done, they are so fast to put together. So, but the exteriors definitely need an iron because they are, because of the paper like interfacing, they have gained some crinkles in their birthing processes. So, and if you were around last night, the one that I timed out to the rainbow one will definitely need to be a timed out because when I was going in to seam rip it, it actually tore into the Obi that is backing the, like, as the lining. Thankfully not the rainbow, but the lining Obi. And so I'm going to have to go in and redo, like, finish seam ripping it out, which is going to be harrowing enough, all things considered. And then I'll need to go in and re-sew that flap, and then we'll install it. We are not doing that right now. I'm just not. Okay, I just realized that the bobbin needs to be winding here. Apparently I didn't start it yet. I think I swapped it right before I left last night because something went sideways and I'm like, no, I'm out. That's the last straw. It's time to go to bed, sort of thing. So, but it is now winding. Do a little tiny bit of back stitching at the top of each of these card pockets because it is a high stress area, and so a couple extra little stitches just help to maintain its integrity when you're using this wallet, because hopefully it is a daily use wallet. That's how it's getting built, is daily use. All right, there we go. And trim down some of these ends because otherwise they are going to show themselves in the finished side. Basting stitches should be within the seam allowance, but basting threads sometimes end up sneaking in because don't always trim them down. All right, so there is the two blue card pockets, and then I need the blue card pocket backing. Where did you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Okay, and then the zipper pockets all need to be sewn as well. So I think that's the next thing is we'll sew, like I said, we're going to sew all the guts up to the point where I actually need an iron, and then we'll go from there. Okay, seriously, where did the... Oh, why is it always something? Why is there always something missing when I come to do these things? Did I pop them? No, I didn't pop them back there. Okay, I am not going to search for these hardcore, mostly because I just want to continue on with the stitching, and we've got a lot of other things to sew, and they're very likely hidden in amongst all the other things somewhere. Because of course they would be. Why wouldn't they? Why would they just be right on top, ready to go? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to call it there then. Damn it. Where the actual F did your card pocket backs go? Okay, well, we will fold them up and I will pop them over there and we'll find them eventually. They can't have gone far. Did they get knocked off? No, they're not on the floor. Okay, they're probably in the pile somewhere, so let's just ignore that and move on to the other problems that we have now, which are sewing zipper pockets. They are not actual problems. Zipper pockets are easy for me. We sew a lot of zippers here, so. Okay, so I need to trim it down to an exact length and then measure and trim. Okay, stain. Okay, then stitch it closed again and then do the zipper tabs. Okay. And then we make the zipper pocket. Sweet, let's do it. Alright, so this needs to be trimmed down. So I'm going to trim it down. Actually, I'm going to stitch it and then I'm going to trim it down because that actually makes more sense. There we go. Stick together and then I'll trim down the other end shorter. And if you're like, Katie, black zipper, white thread, yes. You're not going to see this. So don't tell anyone. I'm just going to broadcast it on the internet, but don't tell anyone. Okay, there we go. It's basically, I'm just creating new zipper stops, so it's not a big deal. It's going to get covered by the actual zipper tab is what we're doing next. So, well, these zippers are long enough. I could actually sew further away from the metal zip ends and we would be fine. But, you know, maybe you don't. I like to work as close to the edge as possible, and then I'll chop it off on the other end, I guess. There we go. When I freak out about where do these zipper tabs go, just remind me that the gray is to go with the blue, the black is with the red, and the gray is with the off-white. We do not actually need to make all of these if I am not... Okay, so that is actually the question. Is do I make all of these even though I technically don't need all of them? Because I wouldn't, your lips are sealed, perfect. It's kind of like one of those situations of like, well, who are you going to actually tell? Don't tell anyone. Who am I going to tell? Yeah, I don't actually need to sew then one of the blue ones because the blue is supposed to go in the interior of the rainbow, and the rainbow is now not getting sewn. It could be a rebel and not make its guts, or I could be a rebel and make its guts and be ready for when I get that one finished. The dilemma. That is the dilemma. That totally was way too close to that seam allowance. It was like, I think it even says to do it 1/4 inch from where I trim these ends, but whatever. We're going to live on the edge. Haha. Almost literally. Okay, there we go. Those are all trimmed down. I just realized if I actually move my camera down a bit, you can see a little bit more of my work table, which would probably be useful since, you know, all the work is happening on my work table. Revolutionary. Okay. So now these do have to be trimmed down to, it says, a very specific length. So we're going to go and trim these down to their very specific length, which is 6 inches. So let's put it down like this, and then right there, and then we're going to scoot, and scooty scoot, and then we're going to pop it in right like that. There we go. And then I think I'm supposed to also, am I supposed to stitch this as well? Yeah, so across, back and forth across the zipper tails. Okay. So let's actually trim all of these down then, and then we'll sew the other end of the zipper tails. The nice thing now is I can lay this flat, like, pieces together. There is the top, there is the bottom, no extra. There we go. And then we're going to do the same here. Ding. Ding. apparently trimming down zippers is a very intense work today. Oh dear. Okay. And just a very busy day, I think, is catching up to me. It's okay. Good sleep tonight. I've got spin in the morning. Because when do I not have spin this week? This month? This year? No, this month. Basically, so yeah, so it's a 30-day challenge of like 30 classes in May, basically. So it's 30 classes in 31 days. You can double up. You can do whatever you want. Just get 30 done within the month. And this year they're actually counting wellness appointments, which include like chiropractic and massage and all of that. Which is kind of cool too. But I haven't... Actually, it would be a good month to test out their massage therapist, but our benefits renewed to like July 1st, so I'm going to wait for another month before I start testing out new massage therapists. Because our current one, she is absolutely amazing, but she's currently training to be an ultrasound tech, so I have a sneaking suspicion we're probably going to lose her as an ultrasound, or as a massage therapist here soon, so I think those were too close to the edge, but whatever, it'll be fine. So yeah, so I think I ended up booking like 38 or 39. Well, I'm sorry to say that there is going to be more zipper cutting today, because we're going to go in and do all of the cuts for the Heidi's today as well. And the Sheenas, because now I know what a number 5 zipper is, and I'm actually super excited to sew with the number 5 zipper for the Hobo bags. Super excited. Are they a pain in the butt in some ways? 100%, but it is fine. But yeah, so I'm like in this challenge, and I was like, okay, so that'll be a good part of taper, because it does make me a lot stronger, a lot faster, and it's good cardio, and it's non-impact, which is like important this month, I think, too. Could I taper better? 100%. Am I going to? Hell no. I will not get an opportunity to do this all the time with Dallas at work so much, although he is talking that he'll very likely take May off most of the time, so I don't know, we'll see what ends up happening here in the future. I don't think that's what I'm supposed to... Jesus. Okay, blue does not go on black, Katie. I was just like auto-piloting, and then I think the white is supposed to be paired with the blue. No, blue is supposed to be paired with blue. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. The blue is paired with the blue. With like the dark gray. Sorry, not the blue. The blue and the dark gray. Blue and the dark gray. Blue and the dark gray. Blah, 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 blah. This would create more than cat problems. Yeah, because the gray is supposed to go in the mirror flower. Yeah, okay. So gray onto the ivories. That makes more sense anyway. Yes, okay. And then blue with the dark gray, because it's a good color combo. That's right. Okay, so we are going to chain piece these once they're done. So I'm going to clip them like both ends on, and then I'll just... There we're good. That one's a little bit wider, but that's okay, because realistically it's getting clipped or sewn into the zipper pouch. So you're not going to see the majority of this. You're not even going to see the majority of this work once this wallet is done. That is actually the insane part of these guys, is it's like there's so much hidden work. So now they all contribute to the quality of the product, but it's a lot of hidden work. Besides the obvious, like, oh, you sewed the exterior and you installed a zipper. No. There's all these other steps involved. I could have used a nappity nap. Dallas just sent me a YouTube link to a radioactive cat, apparently, and all I can see in the thumbnail is a Geiger counter. We are not opening that on stream. Oh dear. That poor cat. stumbled across a YouTube channel because there's a lot of like abandoned homes in Japan, or like house prices are just low because apparently a big good thing of it is that there's a lot of suspicions or superstitions around the houses, and that's fair. People don't like to live in houses where it's like someone has died or other things. Houses also get damaged and need to be replaced quite often because of earthquakes, all of this. And so when there was a burst in the housing bubble a couple decades ago now, housing prices plummeted and they've never like really recovered. Yeah, I know, right? Lovely. Thanks for sending me that while I'm on stream. The other video is me carrying the cake over to the youngest, so I will take that one. But yeah, so I stumbled across this place, and it's like a fully renovated house in Yokohama. Was built in the 80s, but because it's been renovated, it's been brought up to code. So that means that all the new like earthquake tech and everything like that has been implemented and installed and blah 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 blah. $168,000 US, but it's like, what? It's got like plum trees in the back yard, and it's got like a view out over apparently the bay or something like that. Like, it's like, Jesus, if we could swing it with Dallas's job, since he is the breadwinner, but if we could swing it with his job, I'm like, what are we doing? And granted, we'd always be the foreigners, but we could deal with that. It'd be less than an hour to Tokyo. That would be pretty freaking amazing too. So I think in Canadian, I think we're still at like a 30% exchange rate. So that would put like 170, let's say it's 170,000, 180,000 even US, just because it's like that's easy conversion of 30%, and it gives that little bit of like, it's never exactly what they post, right? There's always some sort of fee involved in it with the banks. But even at that point, then it's like 240,000 Canadian. It's just like, seriously, what are we doing? Wonder if Dallas could find a job over there. He could actually, but then he would be working probably in a nuclear plant or something like that, actually. And there would be a language barrier. So I don't know if that would actually work unless you actually knew it. So I think they've recently upped their immigration limits, but it's like, what would I say to actually get my gaijin card in Japan, which is like the alien immigration card? Like, yeah, I want to come make bags out of Japanese fabrics. Like, I don't think that would actually work. Now, this guy did actually make a good point of like, this would probably rent for about this per month. So I think a lot of these are going to end up being purchased as rental properties, but seriously, like, that is what you're looking to pay for like some of the fancier cars in the world. Like, what? And granted, there are still locations like that in Canada, but it's like, they end up putting you in locations where what are you going to do if the industry in that area dries up overnight, sort of thing, right? So, and a lot of the areas that used to be that are no longer for sure as well. So, because like when we were house shopping this last round, I looked a lot of places, because I'm like, if we're doing this and we're trying to figure out where we're settling, like, always still kind of open to other opportunities, obviously, but it's like, this is the house. So I looked in BC and I looked in Alberta and all of that, and it's like, all the places that are going to be far less expensive than where we currently live are not places we want to live. Oh, that's just broken thread, probably because I chain pieced. So I don't know. And having lived in Japan, there were a lot of issues before where it was like, I just don't want to always be the foreigner. Having now had 15 more years of life experience, I kind of discussed this in the past, and like priorities have changed a little bit, not much. I would go back in a heartbeat. So if anyone wants to sponsor me, I will 100% go over. If you'd like to sponsor me to make like content and bags in Japan with fresh Japanese fabrics, like, I don't know, how often should I go shopping? I need a sugar daddy apparently, or sugar mama, with just content creation. Should I start a this is a lot of work, and I'm not trying to make light of this, but should I start an OnlyFans for like Japan porn? I think a lot of those guys though that are content creation in Japan go through like agencies, and those can be super sketchy too on the other side of it. Yeah, summer house, or like rent it out to students, and then or rent it out over the summer when I wouldn't want to be there anyway because it's fucking hot as hell. It's like you are in hell. My God. I tell this story quite often, but like when I was there for exchange, I went in going like, well, it's about the same, like it's along the same lines as Canada for climate and all of that. It doesn't get as cold, so I don't need to take like my big old winter jacket. It's not going to get down to minus 40, but in September it should be pleasant. I gave myself, if I ever get skin cancer, I will not be shocked that it is like in this rim of my neck, because I had the worst sunburn I have ever had in my life. The first weekend in Japan, the first week in Japan. First weekend in Japan, I was in Osaka, saw a thermometer because I was like, I am dying. Why is it so hot? And it was 36 degrees plus humidity. Like second week in September. And I was just like, oh, that's why. I could. And then you do, yeah. Should talk to some people. Who knows? Go upcycle some stuff, sell some stuff. That's why I need to live in Japan, so I can just do it in person. Get hooked up into like the handmade market. It would rapidly improve my Japanese, that's for damn sure. Maybe one day. Wonder if I should look at if the education system over there is better. But I know that also it would be tougher with the kids, on the kids. Because, I think it's gotten better, a little bit better. But previously there's like a lot, and really, but there was a lot of like racism towards, which is not the right term, prejudices. There we go. It's not racism. It's race prejudice against white people, and like halves is basically what it was. So like a lot of like half Japanese kiddos especially got it really rough apparently. Now these are second-hand accounts and stuff like that, but yeah. There we go. Okay, so there's all the zippers with the zipper tabs. Sell kimono and Obi online. That would be freaking amazing. Okay, so what we did is these were all cut in like 2 pieces. So basically I've made the 1 piece now for the zipper pocket. They should hopefully be the right height. I haven't actually checked very many of them. Close enough. They're within 1/8 of an inch. We're close enough. Where are you located? I'm sure I've asked before, but yeah, they would be third culture kids, and that is an interesting experience in and of itself for sure. Okay, what are we doing? Place pocket lining on your work surface, right side up. Center the zipper over this, right side up. Align top edges. Okay, and then this is the important part. The zipper pull will be on the left. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Okay, they must be transitioning upstairs. It's just like the ambulance started suddenly. But actually, I don't know if I've told the story that you've heard, but Dallas is basically, well, he is a third culture kid. My father-in-law got an absolutely amazing opportunity to go overseas to Indonesia when Dallas and his brother were like teenagers. And so they actually they were like, they're third culture kids because they ended up doing like a good chunk of their formative teenage years in Indonesia. Got a really good education because of it, because the oil and gas companies paid for them to go to like an international school and all of this. So it would be something that he's familiar with. But yeah, it would definitely be tough with his job right now. If he was 2 and 2, we would be doing it in a heartbeat. The other issue being that my in-laws are definitely, like, they're not old, but they're not young, and so getting them on an international, like, trans-Pacific flight might be a bit of a battle right now. Just get a house big enough that they could come to. Just come live with us during the winter months when it's rough in Canada. Okay. I love to use, okay, blah, 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 blah. Pin or use double-sided tape across the top 3 edges. No. Pin or use. Using your zipper foot. Why? Okay, fine. I will switch to a zipper foot at least, because that will be easier to go around the zip pull. I don't normally do zipper feet. I don't know why. I think you mentioned that before. Sorry. Wish it wasn't that I would say that I've got a lot on my plate, but I have a lot on my plate right now. In the 90s. World's most livable city in the 90s. That sounds pretty awesome. I did see a hilarious description about Japan the other day that was like, everyone's like, Japan's so ahead. And it was at one point, but the best summary I just saw of it as a comment on like YouTube was like, Japan, it's like Japan's been living in 2000 for the last 40 years. And I'm like, yes, that's what it is. The ATMs still charge overtime fees. And most companies still like operate a lot of their business through fax. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. There's the zipper foot in. Let's do this. That is a 1/4 inch seam allowance like it's supposed to be. Just keep your fingers out of the way, Katie. And do you quilt or do you do something else? Yes. There we go. Okay, it all clicked together. I'm sorry, my dear. It has been a week. We had a lot of chatter last week, or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. So yeah, we're working on, I sewed together those Kato bags that were made from the Obi. And now we need to go in and cut the linings for them. That's where they're at right now. But they did turn out really well, so I'll be able to show those off within the next like week. Hopefully, because the event is... Ugh, this is why I don't like the zipper foot. I forgot about that. Because it's like, it does not have as much of a presser ability. And so it just slips and slides everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna go. And because this sewing machine doesn't like the interfacing. And that is a really thick area right there. There we go. That's better. And then we're going to put that down and we're going to zip this back. Here we go. So you are fully in bluey country then. I don't want to condense somewhere down in like a whole country down into that, but it's bluey that's like based in Queensland, I think. Oh, that zipper. Yeah, okay, we're switching. We're just gonna stick with my normal foot because I will have less issues with it. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining again. Hope it's a gorgeous day in Jeddah as well. We had a bunch of smoke pour in last night, and then it cleared off around about, I think by the time we got home, so around noon today, which is very nice. It is a fairly early start to wildfire season for us, but it is what it is right now, so, okay. I'm not picking out. There we go. There's less fight. Stupid zipper foot. Don't like using the zipper foot. I'm sure there's a trick to it, but we're not going to test it right now. Okay, there we go. Sweet. And then I think this is supposed to be pressed and top stitched. Pull the outer and lining pieces back away from the zipper so that the wrong sides are together. Finger press the seam along the zipper and then press down with a hot iron. We're not pressing it down with a hot iron because finger pressing with this interfacing is enough. And then do the seam allowance. Okay. Or top stitching. We're good. It's not going to get, it's like, it is pulled out of the seam or out of the zipper line here. And then we're going to throw it underneath. There we go. Okay, please. I need a hump jumper right there probably, but there we go. Everything is cranky, including me. Actually, I'm not that cranky. Everything went really well today. Well, decently well. I'm cranky about my race, that's it. I was going to go so fast today. That's okay. I was hoping for like a 35-minute race. That's why I'm a little bit cranky about it. Although realistically, I wouldn't have even hit 35. That was going to be a like really fast race for me. But I am a little bit annoyed because I ended up in a group that basically added a minute because I had to weave around them at the very beginning. I'm like, no, that made me sad. But oh well. That's all I'm cranky about. My youngest loved their cake, which is awesome. Although we did ask today, it's like, what color did you want your robot cake? Because they've been saying gray and green for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then today they're like, blue. I'm like, oh, well, I'll be like gray. That is probably the best way or best reason to learn how to sew clothes. I need to learn how to sew a little bit more because honestly, we have a boy and a girl. I went to buy them shorts the other day because we finally have hit warm weather and like they've had growth spurts over the winter, so a lot of their clothes don't fit. The cheap shorts for the boys are nice, serviceable, basically like French terry cotton without the like looping on the back. I don't know what that's called. But that's the fabric is French terry without the looping. The girls' shorts that are the same price were see-through basically. They were so sheer and fucking ridiculous. And this is not a cat problem. This is disgusting. I'm like, that's so gross. I think I did that wrong. Totally did that wrong. It's not supposed to be folded. Of course. That's a good thing. I've got my seam ripper right here. Okay. Please, 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 please don't cut the kimono. So anyway, so I think I need to actually go in. I did find, for the girl, I did find some skirts and stuff like that. So like the little skirts with shorts under them because that's actually way better because people are disgusting. And so we always put them in like a skirt with shorts. So I found that, but of course it's more expensive. And then like some nice denim shorts, but I'm like, I probably should just go get some fabric and go check our secondhand stores for like a few more pieces. Basically, this was the tide over so that I could go look for secondhand pieces, or I guess now make some, because apparently manufacturers want to hypersexualize girls as soon as they're like just out of the womb. It's disgusting. Also, it's also disgusting because it's like, it's one thing if also those see-through ones were cheaper than the boys. Why couldn't they just have the non-loopy terry cloth with like in pink and like purple, like girls' colors? Why? I don't get it. I do not get it. I'm pissed off. And like, it's the only place that we can go buy kids' clothes right now that's like accessible in town. We'd have to drive into the city otherwise, and then that costs gas and blah 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 blah. So actually, we are going back into the city tomorrow to do some errands. So I should get Dallas to take me by to get some fabric for some dresses and shorts, apparently, at least for the girly. The boy can deal with the. Yeah, because I couldn't even make the shorts for the price that I paid for them, which is also gross. Which is also why I typically do go secondhand, because I just like, at least I'm giving them a second life. Anyway, that is actually a major problem. That is not a cat problem. I'm just like, and there's no solution for it besides not buying it, I guess, or making my own. So I guess I am going to foray into making children's clothing here. I did make some clothes over Christmas because we need some very specific. Santa needed to bring some very specific things from his workshop, so I made sure to help him with those. I hate picking out. Have I mentioned how much I hate picking out on interfacing? Because it is a lot. Nearly as much as I hate the fact that sheer shorts are a thing for toddlers. Okay. And I know if I go along here, even with the red ball down, I will just tear the kimono. Anyway, what I'm supposed to be doing is I'm supposed to be putting the other one on here. Then it gets all fancy and it like gets flipped around, blah, 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 blah. If I actually read the instruction, I would have known this. So this is your forewarning. Just read the instructions. Don't just assume you know better. Because apparently... So Elba, my dear, if you are still here, just know that even after 12 years, I mess up, and I mess up big time. The running joke is that your second best friend as a sewing person is your seam ripper, and if it is not your actual best friend. This is annoying. This is not what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to just be sewing. I was so excited to be at the sewing machine today, because I didn't think I would be at the sewing machine today. Okay. It's wild, because like one of the most worn colors I find is probably blue, actually, so. Or blue. Huh. Yeah, and then that, we're not going to talk about the piss off that girls' swimsuits are either. I know I could buy boys' swimsuits, but here's the thing. My girl is pink and purple. That's what she wants to wear, and all of that. all the girl swimsuits that have like the long sleeve tops, and I want her in shorts, mostly so I don't have to put sunscreen on, but again, people are disgusting. That's another factor in it too. All of the swim shirts that work, that are also like appropriate for the swim pool so that you don't end up like losing them because it's white or whatever, just have bikini bottoms. And then the boys stuff is all boys stuff, and it's like, she's not a boy, she doesn't want to dress like a boy, so give me fucking rash guard shirts in pink with shorts, mostly so I don't have to put sunscreen on, but also because people are gross. Ugh. Why does she need bikini bottoms? And exactly, the burn factor is just increasing everywhere, I think. Or we're just also more aware of it too, right? So there's a few factors in that. I definitely look better after my skin better here than I did when I was younger. Yeah, like, so maybe I need to order from Australia. Maybe that's what I just need to do. Find an Australian brand and order it from Oz. If that's what would solve the issue, honestly, I would be happy to do that. I just realized that I think I actually do... Never mind, we're stuck here. Like, I think I want the speckles up, but the speckles will go on the divider pocket. That's fine too. Okay. I think my rant is over. I don't know. I do think I'm going to go and get some fabric and just make some shorts and skirts. She'll be way happier. She loves to wear dresses and stuff like that. So honestly, skirts are the way to go for her. But it's like, those are super limited in what they offer as well. So I'm like, ah. My little bit of like mama rage. I don't get very ragey as a mom very often. But I'm just like, this is terrible. Why are these the only options we can offer our children? Because on the flip side, my boy has also asked for stuff that has like hearts and pink. So, but he's like, and I don't mind. Dress them in what they want to wear, right? As long as they wear it. But it's like, none of it's, or like, I want to get them like cat stuff, but all the cat stuff is super like pink, and he's not a super pink kid outside of when he asked, mostly because his sister's wearing it. And it's like, well, why aren't there more like cat boy representations, like gender neutral and boy cats? Oh, I have sunbaking sounds familiar because I'm pretty sure my grandma used to sunbake basically with tanning oil instead of sunscreen. So yes. Yeah, no, and I typically wear shorts and under dresses and skirts too because it is just more comfortable. You don't get the thigh chafing, and it's like, if you bend over, you're not flashing panties everywhere. It's more comfortable for the wearer as well. I just wish it wasn't quite so much of a necessity. So yeah, so I think, well, I have some cute dress patterns. They are a lot of work though, so I'm like, I think I'm gonna sew some more skirts. No, do not sew in there. Sew some skirts, or skirts, and some dresses. Something that's a little bit easier. But also just make it easier for her teachers to like not have to slather sunscreen everywhere. Because the thing is now, she's like, she's asking for a bunch of short sleeve dresses, and I don't have a lot of short sleeve dresses because we're like, her birthday's coming up, and so I want to see what they end up with for their birthdays before I go out and buy a bunch of clothes or search for a bunch of clothes on Marketplace or whatever. So that's where we're at. I just was disgusted by that option or lack thereof. Okay. On a better note, there is one zipper pocket done. Ha ha ha. Okay, so now we're going to open the zipper. This is like, it's in all caps. So we're going to open the zipper. Look at that. I followed the instructions. Okay. Everything should be right sides together. Oh, I see why they want me to open the zippers, because we're going to turn this pouch out through the zipper. I'm going to do the nested seams at the bottom here. No, I'm not, because is it matched? Why am I sticking that in my mouth? I don't need to stick it in my mouth. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so nesting seams at the bottom. And then one of the hacks that I learned when I was very first starting out is bend your zipper the way that you want it to sit when you're doing this sort of thing. So in this case, I want the zipper into the pouch. So I'm going to clip it so that the zipper is in and the zipper tab is basically pressed up into, like, so it's a U into the pouch, and then the U top edges are towards the exterior. I think that makes sense. So we're going, so this is flat. You're not, and then you're going to fold it in so that the pocket linings get the U. And that will help the zipper go into the pouch as well. And it just sets the zipper really nice in like wedge bags and stuff like that. That was one of the hacks I used when I was doing the wedge bags quite a bit. All the time. It's still the hack that I use even for the big bags, the tote bags actually. So that is uneven. Are you at least consistently uneven? Yeah, mostly. You're good. Whatever. You'll be fine. Gone forever. Bye. Bye, clip. Why are you so uneven? I don't get it. Do I need to trim you down? Are you trapped somewhere you shouldn't be? Doesn't look like it. This side is even. That side is not. Are they both the same height? No, doesn't look like they are. 3 1/4. 3 3. Yeah, it's like a ½ inch off. Where did, oh. Oh, interesting. So the top stitching caught it on one corner and then it didn't catch it. Wait, what? No. Like double caught. Oh, what in the ever-loving hell went on? What went wrong here? Fine. Okay. I'll have to redo the top stitching on this side, because apparently it refused to do what it was supposed to do. And, well, it's still keeping the top stitching out of the zipper, but it's like double caught the... Okay, what went on there? What happened? What am I actually picking out? Because the other thing I could do is I could just... Could it be... My goodness, these clips don't want to stay on the table. All right. Is it just the way that I was doing the zipper? Am I supposed to maybe keep it flat? If I don't do it flat, are we still good? Can I make it good? Yes, I can. Okay, good. We can make it even. Even enough. There we go. I think that still works for actually sewing. Yeah, okay, good. As long as I can still, it basically gets sewn in with the box. So as long as everything still works when we go to sew the box, we're fine. There you go. Okay. So, ding, ding. Because the bottom of this does not get finished or sewn together, basically. So, there we go. Now, we're going to sew around all 3 sides, which means up this side at what seam allowance? Okay, so only around these 3 sides. So lining to exterior. I'm going to backstitch there. We also need to find the backing for this extra blue. But realistically, even if I don't, it's okay, because that one of these blues is going to go in the rainbow pouch. That now needs a new backing to its flap, because it was angry when I tried to seam rip 3 seams out of it from the flub last night. Surprise! Okay, there's this, and here's the 3rd side. Surprise! We're done almost. Like I said, that's the cool thing about these wallets is once you're kind of at the stage of putting the guts together, you end up almost being done. It's all in the prep work. It's so much prep work. So much prep work. Okay, I'm going to trim down the edges here on these corners because that should help the corners turn out technically. At least that's what I'm always told. I rarely see a difference. But we're going to do it here anyway. Ow. Caught myself on my bread knife this morning. Slicing open my bagel for breakfast. Actually, it's my bagel or was it the youngest's bagel? I think it might have been the youngest's bagel. That took them like 3 hours to eat. Okay. Sweet. So that is getting turned right there. There's a little bit of excess thread there that we'll trim up in a moment. So this, what ends up happening now is this gets sewn into the wallet. Obviously. I guess maybe not obviously. It's obvious to me because I've constructed these before. But so this gets sewn into the middle and basically becomes the coin pouch, and there's like a divider piece on that. So this gets folded in half, and yeah, as long as it's not too cranky apparently. Why are you so cranky, pants? Actually, it's because it's got a thicker, it's got the paper interfacing on it. Okay, that might actually need a press. But so there's the zipper pouch, and then there's the divider, and then this is what you'll see in the middle, and then the card pockets will be on the like exterior of this. Okay, so basically I need to go in and poke this corner out. I do actually have a corner point turner here, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to do it here, and then we're going to do it on this edge. Hey, oh, that's a nice, that turned out nice with the zipper tab this time. Sweet. And I just need to finesse it out right here without also damaging it, so you know. Okay, good. There. Now we're going to trim down these threads on this edge here. Okay, and then the bottom one here at the top of the divider gets a top stitch as well. So I'll go in and do that top stitch right here, like this. Yeah, good. Probably supposed to be at a smaller top stitch width. There we go. Like seam allowance, basically. There we go. Snip there. And a snip here. Anyway, thinking about like making clothes, I need to actually start making myself more clothes too, because I end up having difficulties of my torso is actually fairly long, which I didn't know until I started sewing sweaters or knitting sweaters, and I'm like, why don't these things fit, especially in the arms? But of course, or at least what I've heard is that typically the length of your arm is matched. Oh yeah, never mind. I definitely need both those card backs. Right, so we're making all the guts. We'll assemble most of the guts, and then we'll go on and do all the other stuff, because I also need to iron some things, and I only want to have to warm up the iron once this round. And blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to start sewing a few more things, because like dresses especially don't hit properly in the waist because my torso is longer and all of that lovely stuff. I did make myself some things a few years ago, but it was kind of like finding out that after you knit something, there's an errata for something that you struggled with in the pattern. Yeah, that more or less happened with a couple of the patterns I had. So I need to go back in and actually make them again properly, basically it ended up with like a high-low hem where there really shouldn't be a high-low hem. And so I just, again, it's something that got set aside. I timed it out and haven't gone back to it. The fabric selection for it was also questionable, to be honest. And I, again, have learned a lot more since I made it. So I figure practicing at least on the kids' clothes is a lot less of a fabric investment. And they still need to fit, but they don't need to fit quite the same as like adult clothing. So I can build some confidence there first. That's my theory. We'll see if that actually is what happens. The other part of this is I want to sew a lot more of the more pinup style, because our pinup clothing store has been gone for a while, and I like that style on my body. So, and then the stuff that I can get from the States is pricey right now because of the exchange rate. It's really good. It's really high quality. I still have pieces from them like years later, but it is not in the budget right now, which is also fine. Just means I gotta do it myself eventually. I did actually bring back some yardage for the eldest last year that I should make some clothes out of. I need to wash the fabric. I haven't even washed and like ironed the fabric for that stuff yet, because it was just like, it was a busy year last year. And this year isn't looking much more promising for that either. Which is why I think, it's why I'm leaning towards taking like, because we have Victoria Day obviously coming up in Canada. I'm thinking I will take the majority of that week off just to do some personal projects even. Maybe really concentrate on actually getting the studio fully tidy, because I haven't done that either. It's better, and that desk is cleared off, but that doesn't mean much when all these whip bins are like almost staring me in the face. And then I could also take the photos of all the stuff to actually post for an update for, it'll be the beginning of June now. Like I said, I was actually planning for the middle of May. Then I moved it back, and now I'm like, no, it's not going to happen till the beginning of June. So it's okay. Stuff happens. There we go. Yes, I could chain piece these and we would be more efficient probably. But honestly, I am struggling enough as it is just to keep this straight. So we're just going to do them one at a time. And I'll just swallow the extra time that this is taking. Whatever. Okay. Not that it's probably actually taking that much extra. Oh, open the zipper. Oh, it's literally in the pattern. Open the zipper! It's very important to open the zipper to turn this out. So we'll follow that pattern instruction. One thing Katie listens to. It's all caps yelling. Oh yeah, seriously, I know. I know. I did sort, so I was like, I know, because they were in a special bin because they weren't like project bags. I found a bunch of project bags that have like interiors, exteriors cut. They just need interfacing. They even have their handle cuts. So those are going to get mixed in. They're all small box bags. Small box bags are in like a serious need of replenishment. So those are going into the whip pile for the small box bags when I get to them. Basically, we're waiting to do small box bags until I do my supply orders. So those have been delegated to where they need to go. And then the box of special bags just got a poke around in yesterday. And I knew they were the special bags because I've had them set a while since I cut them out 6 years ago. We're not going to discuss the fact that they were cut out 6 years ago and how much my cutting skills have changed in 6 years. The last time I actually did a serious run of purses. But a lot of them are in such a stage that like they have sew-in interfacing versus fusible interfacing. And given how I now have a lot more respect for fusible interfacing, I'm going to go in and basically trim down the sew-in interfacing. And then we're going to do a fusible, like, we're going to do a fusible interfacing over top of the sew-in interfacing, and that'll give, oh, that didn't catch. That'll give the purse body more body, and then we'll also end up with it actually being more stable to sew and easier to sew as well. These are cuts. Actually, we might need to wait until I get my canvas order in anyway, because I just realized that like they're cuts technically that have vinyl for the bottom, but the vinyl is like an upholstery vinyl, and I didn't realize that when I purchased it. So it's got like the like padded backing. And it works, but it's not the nicest to work with. So maybe we'll wait until I get the canvas in for them. But they're on the docket for this summer as well. So that clears out, like, that cleared out half a bin. There's lots of cuts in there for like a very specific bag that I was like, I should put this into production, and then it never went into production because it's a lot of work. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish off the cuts that I have, and then they'll be going in like, I don't know, I'll put them in for, they're not seconds, they're still really well done, but like that would be the idea. Sample sale maybe? My fabric envy is so high right now. No More the Tailor in Kyoto is like posting a bunch of previews of fabric right now, and I'm all like grabby hands, I want to go now. I think I have to, I was discussing this the other night of like, I don't know when I'm going to actually make the final call of like, yes, you're going to Japan. I know what I'm going to do, so I figured out where I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay in Osaka because the hotel cost is like a third, so it's $80-ish Canadian. And if the exchange rate keeps going the way it's going, amazing, I will totally take it. And it's in my own old university town, so I'll take you guys on a tour because I think that would be a lot of fun. It's got the best East Indian food and like curry that I've ever had in my life. The lassi is almost like the mango lassi is almost to die for. Mango. Where'd that come from? There's another. Okay, so that actually looks significantly better. It'll get folded. Oh yeah, I need to actually top stitch right here. But yeah, Nomura keeps posting. Oh, why I was going on about the hotels, I will book it as soon as I can, but with a cancellation availability. So it's like I can basically book it at the beginning of August, it looks like. It's 3 months in advance. So end of November would be August. From what I can tell from their website, at least. I don't actually know. One of a kind sale? Yeah, I think that's it. There's like, because there's more than one, but I'm not, like, it's maybe, yeah, one of a kind. One-off sale. I'm not putting into production sale. One of a kind is probably the best way to put it. Sounds the most exclusive. I think that's what I'm going. I think I'm going to take a lot of the fabric envelopes that I did previously for cross stitch and embroidery, and just update them with a vinyl window too, and then put them back up as embroidery and cross stitch bags, because they would hold. They're massive, and it's a lot of fabric, and I don't want to lose out on the work that I've already done on them. So I think I can do it that way. We are on to our next bobbin already. So what is that? Designer. Right? Just gotta choose the right wording for it for sure. Okay. Bobbin 3. Where are you? I'm trying to like, there we go. Not the alert box. Thank you. Text 2. We're on, oh yeah, I didn't update this yet, but we're on to bobbin 3 now. There we go. Okay. I think one of a kind probably hits the right note. Sample sale, somewhere in there. One of a kind sample sale might be the closest. They're super cute. They're little like clutches, but they're just, I don't know, maybe they will be something that like come in later, but they're too expensive for what I intended, for the audience I was making them for. So like I was thinking like an upgraded kind of Notions pouch, but it's like the amount of work that goes into them is quite a bit. Now I might be faster now, so maybe I need to just sew them and see where we're at. I might be eating crow here soon and like putting them into production. Who knows? Again, that was something that I tackled 5 to 6 years ago, and now they've just kind of wallowed. So given that I'm already considering sewing some of the small box bags that are like in my sewing studio right now, I'm feeling very virtuous. I shouldn't, but I am. Hell, the fact that I'm finally thinking of going back to the Sheenas that I had cut from years ago is also like super virtuous of me. There's a really gorgeous Obi one in there though that I do want to get finished. Oh, I talked about how I need to change the bobbin. I changed the bobbin count on the stream and then I forgot to actually change the bobbin. Okay, the bobbin is changed now. Apparently I might have some cat hair floating around or fabric fluff. There are also a bunch of Obi bags that I had originally intended to be like large box bags and wedge bags. They are going to basically remain that shape. Well, okay, no. The large box bags I'm going to convert into a wedge bag. And then I'm going to install the D-ring tabs on both sides so that they are able to be used more as a purse instead of a project bag. Because that's why I stopped making Obi bags, is because most people are like, well, the Obi's too, like, it's too fancy. I'm like, okay. So we'll lean into this and make... I knew that I still had bags that I hadn't sewn. I didn't realize it was quite so many. But they're at a point where I can still like pivot on them. So that's what we're going to do later this year as well. Probably thinking about it. I will try and have those ready for Omatsuri if I get accepted for Omatsuri in August. I totally sewed that at a top stitch length, not a seam length. Oh well, 2 seams are better than 1. And again. There we go. Open it up and fold it back. You're very, very stiff. Super stiff. Because you got the paper lining. Okay, clip. And clip so it's out of the way a little bit better. And I'm going to do this big speckle, full speckle panel against the zipper because that's going to look the best, I think, in my opinion. It's where you're going to see it the most, so I may as well lean into that as well. What time? Oh, it's already 20 to 8. Wow, okay. So we do have errands to run tomorrow, so I will try to be online in the afternoon. I will be online probably in the evening after dinner as well. Just like trying to get wrapped up for next weekend. Well, yeah, so basically what I'll be able to do is I'll trim down the large box bag and the large wedge bag are a very similar amount of fabric. It's just width. And so the large wedge bag will actually work really, 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 really well for a purse size. So basically all I have to do is go in, tear out the side seams and add in like a strap hook, a D-ring, and then re-sew it back up. So those are going to be pretty straightforward. And then the large box bag will just need to be trimmed down to the same width. And I can do the exact same thing. Just add charge before going to bed. Okay, don't worry. You get charged at bedtime. yeah, it'll be really easy to repurpose them into like more of a handbag. Is that what I should have tackled for this market this weekend? Probably. Did I? No, I totally got distracted by the shinies. But I also need to stock up on the wallets because now, well, they don't sell very fast. I don't expect them to sell very fast. And actually, my brother-in-law said that he might be able to trim or cut my leather tags this week. So that would be amazing. And then we can just glue them in on the weekend or on Friday so that it's got like a little bit more curing time. All right. There's almost 2 out of 4 complete. Need a little bit of water because I should have been drinking more water throughout the day and I haven't been. We do need to start the bobbin winding before I forget. Okay. Clip and clip. And we're going to bend this down. This and this and this, ding, and bend and clip, and then around. And turn. Third side. The guts take so long to get sewn. And then, so the last steps for the exteriors of the wallet is I need to go in and what do I need to do? I need to iron them because they are all crinkled from turning. And then I need to go in and top stitch them. So, but like I said, I only really want to heat up the iron once because it's getting hot. Although the basement is pretty cold. And we'll just do all the ironing at once. So you're going to get all the pieces assembled and then we'll go in and actually do the ironing and the top stitching afterwards, hopefully. Or at least like halfway through maybe or something, I don't know. Just not individually per item. Oh, that's not caught. Okay, let's check to see if there's any other defects on the other side that need to be fixed. Alright, besides this, the fact that it's being difficult with the turning out. Okay, no, we're good. Everything got caught, so this side needs to be caught here. And then we'll be able to go. And also, so I was just thinking as well for the repurposing for the little clutches. I can't because it's a very specific shape cut already, and the shapes are already cut. Yay. I think I just kind of lost interest when there wasn't a lot of interest shown for them, and I shouldn't have because they're pretty cool little guys. So we'll give them another chance later in the year because it would be a good everyday person object. I think it was just I was just trying to target the wrong audience. I haven't expanded enough into the other audiences to like really make them popular either. Perfect. There we go. Need to just get this out, and then we'll top stitch the bottom / the top of the divider pocket. And then we can go in, and there's only two more to do. Just awesome. So once these are done, we're going to go on to the actual Sheenas, which are the Hobo bags. And that exterior for the teal is turning out flippin' spectacular. It is so good. We will see it tonight, but just know it is so good. Didn't you know? So good. Go. Clip. We're going to bring this over here, and we're going to clip it here, and in, and in. There we go. So one side of the zipper pouch and the other side of the zipper pouch. So I think we'll do this as the fold, because you're going to see, like, on the inside of the pouch or the wallet, you'll see that more. Two more. I don't know why these are taking so long. I guess because they're kind of fiddly. It's probably actually not taking that long. It just feels like forever because I want to work on the bigger pieces. Working on all the little fiddly pieces is never fun. It's like, come on. I know you're important, but come on. I'm done. I just want to work on the big... I don't know what that hand movement was supposed to do, but I hope it communicated the big kapow pieces or pow pieces, or I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. But these pieces have just as much impact on the final product. I sound so enthusiastic about my sewing right now. Oh, apparently I only have one. Huh. I only have one set of gray pockets anyway. Okay, well, I'm not heartbroken about that. We'll finish this one off, I guess. And the second set of gray was supposed to go in the rainbow, so actually that works out in our favor then, because the rainbow one isn't going to get finished till later. So there we go. That's what we're doing. The seam allowance is still, or the seam length is still really long. There we go. It's fixed. Yes, I will do that after. Thank you. I always forget about that. I don't actually know if I'm ironing these bits or not, but the exteriors for sure will need an iron because of they're just crinkly. But yeah, they would use an iron will help them with the setting as well, so we'll throw them underneath afterwards. Okay, all right. Get the rest of the threads out here. Okay. And apparently my zipper tabs are quite a bit larger on these ones. Okay. And now I'm gonna have to find the other. These aren't, I think, even supposed to be. Oh, right. These are the paper interfacing because I was able to cut them out of the leftovers from the card pockets. That's why we ended up with paper interfacing. Like, I'm pretty sure these were supposed to be light interfacing. That could also explain some of the extra fabric that I have right now. So maybe one of these is going to end up with a blue interior. So Needle down. Unzip. Actually, is it? I think it's Sheena's that we're going to next. I said Sheena's, and then I'm like, wait, is it Sheena's or is it Heidi's? But I think it's Sheena's, which are going to be the second most complicated one. Actually, they're all a little bit complicated, but I think the Sheena's are going to be the most complicated one of them all. So, yay. Whatever. We got, what, a week? I've got a week. That's more than enough time. We know how much I can get done when I set my mind to it. My sleep schedule is going to be shitty this week, but that's okay. I don't have any big races this week. And I just have to show up to class mentally. Physically. I don't have to be there. I can be checked out. I just got to be on the bike. Actually, it was really good. I think one of the big things I do need to do is more yoga. I remember feeling like really good when I was doing a lot more yoga than I'm doing right now. It was yin yoga. So it was a lot of like long holds to like stretch properly and things. And it was like, and now we're going into Shavasana, or like at the final resting pose. And I was like, wait, we're already done? And I'm like, okay, so I was apparently like absorbed in the class, which was quite nice, because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's just like the brain is everywhere. So I was very pleasantly surprised, because it was also a tough class, because there was a lot of hope openers, hip openers, just one after the other. Hip openers, side hip, glutes, and of course running. Those are all, and like this increase in activity with spin and stuff like that. It's just like everything is like so we need to have a discussion about the sudden increase in your activity level. Okay, so that is done, right? We're good? We're good. This is the spare stuff for the rainbow. So I'm going to actually clip it here so that I don't completely misplace it. And then one of the gray pockets as well is going to go here. Gray card pockets, and we'll just officially in timeout. How long it stays in timeout, I don't know. Until it like learns its ways, whatever you want to call it. What is it? I don't remember the saying of that. Learns from its ways. Ways from its learns. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Okay. Okay, let's go. Good. It's better. Okay, 3 sides. Then we're done. The guts for the wallets. And it'll just be ironing and assembly. This is the part that takes the longest. Sigh. That is still too high a seam allowance. So we're going to redo that side seam. So the other one that is gray, that will eventually go in the rainbow bag, needs gray exterior. could have blue exterior too, actually. Blue with gray for the rainbow bag would kind of look cool. So, not too picky. I know I definitely have blue already, like, done. So we could do that. So I won't be too particular. But since I'm not going to be working that anyway, it's fine. Everything's good. Not gonna worry about it. Okay. The last one for now. Really is like turning paper. Which is a wild sentence because you never think about turning paper really. Like if you're turning maybe like a washi or something like that, the really light paper. So this is one of the kimono that I purchased on exchange, but recently because I was like, well, I need more kimono and I never wear these ones, I absorbed them into the business because I was like, well, it all started with my exchange. So let's use some of the ones that like I never wear. There we go. Guts are done. The guts, they are complete. Good. I am tired of sewing guts. Except for, oh, never mind. The 2 card pockets for the blue still need to be sewn. Da 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 da. Okay. Gonna match all of these up with that. Ugh. Okay, the 2 blue can't be matched. Oh no, wait. I still need to top stitch that. Oh, of course. We're still not done the cuts. And that corner could use a press out with the point tool without damaging the interior. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so when I was talking about like Noma Taylor has some super cute pattern prints that they're teasing me with. They've brought out a tuxedo cat in like fans, and it's like, oh, looks so good. Why do I have to wait till November? I think I am going to make the call in August though, after Knit City. That will be the determining weekend, more or less anyway. Basically, and like what I was trying to say earlier before I forgot what I was saying, is I'll book the hotel at the beginning of August, but it has cancellation until like a week before. So if I don't know by a week before if I'm going or not, then obviously I'm not going. So that's where it's at right now. Book the hotel in August with free cancellation, and then I guess just kind of do a wait and see period. All right, the wallets are going up here. Yes, they're going up there on top of the kato. Oh, I need to go get cotton webbing tomorrow anyway because I want to put cotton webbing as because the Sheena ends up having a, technically it's supposed to be sewn in strap, but I don't. Yeah, we're going to do a cotton webbing instead of the polypropylene as the main strap, and then I'll offer an upgrade strap of a leather strap because that'll help kind of keep the price a little bit more moderate, hopefully. Well, definitely more moderate than leather. The leather, it's like, the leather is a freaking $1 per square inch, basically. So as soon as I go in to cut a leather strap, it's something like $55 to cut a crossbody strap. It's insane. And when I was like, oh, when buying strap blanks is really expensive, I didn't realize in some ways just how much each square inch of fabric cost. And then plus all that time and effort to do it too. So, but I will have straps available if people want upgrades. I think that's the best way to manage that one. All right, so we've got the crescent moon slip pocket of the Sheena. I realized that I was talking the other day out of my butt about these needing to have 2 pockets. They don't, even in the pattern, They do not have 2 pockets, they only have 1. What it's talking about is cutting 2 pieces of fabric to make 1 pocket, because you sew that pocket together. And in other not reading instructions, I am going to pull up the Sheena and we'll figure it out. I am going to start with the pocket instead of the rest of the stuff because a lot of it doesn't apply to us, except that I need to actually do the, I need to sew together the gusset. It's basically the only thing that actually applies to me here. And then it wants me to top stitch it, so I might actually need to do that with dark. We'll figure it out. The teal will probably look fine with, like, it's not super I can't tell. I can't decide what color that is. Okay, let's do the interior pockets. Yeah, and then they will need to be top stitched and stitched into the thing. Oh, sigh. Okay, I think at this point we will end up switching to the dark stitching. So we'll do as much as we can before we need to do the black switch. Switch to black, and then, yeah, I don't know how I want to do this yet. Oh well, figure it out. Figure it out. All the rambling while I'm just trying to see what the actual seam allowance for, don't do it at a top stitch length. Go back. Thank you. Ba, ba, ba. Sewing curves is kind of terrifying, especially when the curves don't sit properly together. That doesn't help. There we go. Okay, now I think this is one of those situations where it sits just as well or better without ironing. The white as a top stitch on this looked fine, so that's what we're going to do. No, if I pinking shears that, it is going to be happier. This will actually need to probably be thrown under the iron. So we may be turning on the iron today after all, depending on how far I get on it. Eee, don't cut that close to the seam allowance. Anyway, depending on how much I get done today. I need to set up like a little ironing station. I do have another one of these carts, so maybe I should set up a little ironing station beside me for this sort of stuff, because that would be useful. I do have a wool pressing mat. This would be easy. Oh, come on. My pinking shears are also being cranky, which is making me cranky. Come on, shears. I am also going to have to get up and get the D-rings, actually, I just realized. Because if I'm offering swappable straps, I should have... They're going to need D-rings. The D-ring will also look nicer. I wish I knew where my, like, seam roller was, because that would be optimal for this. That's a really pretty pocket. It's going to go to the exterior like this. Yeah, iron is going to be necessary for this. Okay, let's at least clip it with the areas that we're having arguments with. And that's going to help anyway, because that'll help it get into the shape that we want. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Up to this side. Alright, again, I am refusing to turn the iron on for as long as possible. So we're just going to do this for now. This will still help press it. This is not the final press, but hopefully when I get it to the iron, what it'll do is it'll just help it not just like poof, open and not be ready for ironing, which is totally possible too. My God, that sounds amazing. Damn it. Now I'm jealous of tools. Tool jealousy. Okay, actually we're at the point where I need to sew the gussets. So this is the teal. We're going to sew the interior and exterior gussets. And then we'll go in and do the zippers. The most terrifying part of this project. Zippers. Okay. That is not teal. But yeah, I've got like a pressing mat here. And I technically could just plug my iron in because it's not like I'm not running surge bars and extension cables across my floor right now anyway, so wouldn't take much. Okay, there are all the gussets, and there's the interiors. Now where is the pocket for the second sheena? Did I not cut it? Totally possible. Because we're into the Heidi's already. Because there's only 2 sheenas. Okay. Interior, 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 interior. In exterior, 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 exterior. Look at that, I didn't cut the pocket. Haha. I think what ended up happening is I had that pink interfaced for it. And I forgot that I need 2 pieces, and so the pink no longer worked. Or the pieces where I'm like, hey, I've got extra fabric. Why do I have extra fabric? That's what happened. That's where some of the extra fabric's supposed to be going. Like this piece right here. Bet you that's what it's for. Okay, so there's some extra, okay, there's extra blue. And there's extra gray. We're probably going to need that extra gray for card pocket backs, even though it's the wrong interfacing. There is an extra piece of blue. There's probably a second extra piece of blue on my cutting table, or on the other desk over here. So let me go take a look. I'm also going to grab a caffeinated pop, because I need a little bit of help. Probably only got about another hour and a bit of work, and then Dallas will have the kids down, if he doesn't already have the kids down. But yeah, give me like 2 seconds here. Well, 30 seconds. All right, we are getting extra fancy or extra lazy. I'm going to call it extra fancy, and we're going to do a 2-tone pocket because that's what I have available for fabric. That is prepped and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is we're going to focus more on the speckle side, because the speckle side will be still what's facing out, and then the teal will face in towards the teal bag, because that's actually going to look really good, because the interior of the teal bag is actually going to be the blue. So this will be the exterior of the pocket, and then the teal will face in towards the blue. I do not know where the cutting piece is for this. So we're going to re-unfold the pocket I just sewed and go from there. Because realistically, it is the full pocket piece. Even with the trim down, I can just add a little bit of seam allowance, because then it gets sewn into the bottom of it. So if it's got a bit of a generous seam allowance from the top, it'll be fine. But I didn't end up taking that much off of the top even. So basically what I'm going to do is we're going to lay it out like this. We are going to focus it into this corner right here. And then I am going to flatten out my work surface, because that would be the smart thing to do. I should have also grabbed the D-rings while I was standing up, but I was more concentrated on getting the fabric. There. Okay. Now what we're going to do. Obi thread, kimono thread, just like clung to my hand. Okay. I'm gonna go in and we'll draw the line and we'll draw the line, and then I will hand cut this because my rotary cutter is getting angry at me about cutting Obi right now, which is wild. Means I need to change the blade probably, but it's having zero issue with like stabilizers and cotton linen blends and stuff like that. Just these interfaced Obi and Kimono, and I do not get why. It's like, why are you having issues? Like, okay, I get that I probably need to change the blade, but why are you only having issues with the delicate fabrics and not the thicker stuff, where I would expect you to have issues? Okay. Those are connectors and more zip tabs, because the exciting news is we have more exciting zip tabs. I think actually, oh shoot, I think the Heidi's also have zip tabs that I haven't cut yet, because of course they would. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah. Go, and then we're going to turn the corner. We'll cut down this other side, and then we will sew, or we'll cut out the teal side of this, and then we'll sew it together. And then I think it actually, after the top stitching, wants me to do a stay stitch because of the curve. Makes sense. Although this interfacing is non-woven, and I think it called for woven interfacing, which does allow a little bit more stretch, but I use the non-woven because it's what's available for an affordable price. And because I don't want this really stretching or swooping. It already stretches and swoops enough while I'm cutting it typically, so before I get the interfacing on it, basically. There. Okay, one piece here. That is the hilarious part about irons, is I swear I iron more sewing than I ever iron anything clothing wise. It's not that I don't, I just don't do it anywhere near as much. It was definitely purchased for the business, with the intent of using it for the business anyway, so. But it's been serving me, it's like 10 years old at this point, so. I do think it is starting to come to its end of life, usable life, at least for my business section. It'd still be fine for like personal clothes, I think. But I am finding it struggles with ironing like the yardages and stuff like that now. So I'm like, okay, it might be time to invest in one for a new one for the business and just put that one into household use then. Ooh, wobble. This is, we're just gonna cut the straightest line we can after this whole debacle. I don't know how I missed this, but apparently I missed it. It's okay. I missed a lot of stuff this cutting around. I swear that's not my hand, it's just the way, apparently. Well, obviously it is. I am the one guiding the pen. But usually I'm not quite that bad. Alrighty, let's do this up here. Just like all over the place. Alright. My watch is giving me grief. Scratchy scratch. Okay. right, and then across the top here. And then we'll get everything sewn together, and then we'll get it clipped back just like I did with the other one. And then we'll see what I'm doing next. Like I said, I think I will top stitch this with white, but I'm going to need to do that after an iron because, well, especially with this one, this Obi is a little bit stiffer than the kimono fabric of the blue. So this is Obi, the back of the Obi that would be facing the body, and then this is kimono fabric. That's actually a really nice color combo though, even in person. Well, it looks really good even on camera, it looks like, so. Oh yeah, sweet. Okay, well I'm glad that worked that way, rather than just being like, what do I do for a pocket? I know that I was planning to do the pink for the pocket, but it was heavy. And I think actually I ended up cutting it for the NCW, so that worked out. NCW being the wallets. Alright. So now this is a relatively straightforward curve, as much as they're terrifying. I do need to wind my bobbin. So. And sometimes just keeping the extra hand out of the way is way better. Alright. Trim it down. Just with the pinking shears, because that'll notch it. Still cranky. It's probably still time. I need to get a more professional pair of pinking shears. These are basically like the cheapest pair that I could get at Walmart, and they have been sharpened, and well, he might have like actually maybe over tightened them a little bit. I don't know. But even after sharpening, they're still pretty cranky. Or actually, after sharpening, I should say. They're even more cranky. There we go. Sweet. And then, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's not like you're even going to be able to see the teal Obi unless you're like reaching into the slip pocket. So we're good. Alright. Clip. And then we're going to clip up this other side of the crescent moon. So this gets split into 2 slip pockets on the interior of the Hobo bag. And we will do that stitching, as I said, later. Once this has been ironed and top stitched, and then it gets stitched onto the bag. So that's basically what we're working towards right now, is getting everything to the ironing stage. And next time I will be, or even maybe tomorrow. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be. Maybe another hour. But maybe tomorrow tomorrow I will set up the ironing cart, and we'll work with that somehow. I'm sure I can make it work. Especially because like this I can just put on the wool mat, and it doesn't need to have like the big quilting board or anything like that. Although putting that quilting board on the cutting table the other day was so much easier on my back and like upper body and everything like that. So that is something I will keep in mind when I'm just doing like flat lay ironing. I still need to use the board quite a bit for like the box bags and stuff like that, but yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. At least a change of scenery sort of thing. Okay. There's those 2 done. Now we are going to sew all of the gusset pieces together. And all of the gusset pieces can actually be sewn in a chain piece sequence. What am I actually sewing these at? What seam allowance? What's the seam allowance? Please, why are you fighting me on going up? Okay. There is the seam allowance. And then they're supposed to be bent back and top stitched, so we will do that afterwards, obviously. Again, once I decide if I'm doing these. Actually, this blue is dark enough. I definitely need to do it with the black thread, because white would be very much too stark. Okay. Those ones match the closest in width. And I totally just looked up what that seam allowance was, and I think it was a generous seam allowance, but I've lost it. It's not in my brain anymore. Went in one ear and out the other. So only along the longer of the 2 straight edges. Okay, yeah. The butt edges, not the head edges. Okay. Okay, ow. So that was, I just realized, that was the exterior. So let's make sure that that's also for the interior, because it might be different for the interior. Pin the 2 contrasting lip top stitch. Prepping, assemble. Oh, okay, just like I did to the main panels, which we're not sewing together because they are just going to be all one piece. Zipper, zipper, center seams, connectors, finish. Okay, then I'm just going to say that they're supposed to be the same seam allowance because it doesn't say repeat for the interior seams. Oh, never mind, it is right there, right underneath. Okay. I just read the instructions correctly. These are very important skills that apparently are beyond my reach tonight. Important basic sewing skill. Read the pattern. Oh well. I can read them most days. Or at least for a good chunk of the day, typically. I guess. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so there's the exterior, and here is the interior. So that is all of the pieces for the gussets for the 2 bags. Like I said, there's only 2 of the Sheena. Mostly because I got distracted by that Gabrielle shoulder bag, and then figured out that the Gabrielle shoulder bag needs some more finessing, which is part of why I do want to get the cotton webbing so that I can do a cotton webbing D-ring strap for it. That's actually one of the things that's going to hold me up a little bit on the previously cut Sheenas, is figuring out what I want to do for the connectors, actually. Alright, put it there, and then this actually gets folded to each side, what they ask for, and then it'll be top stitched down. But that is something that I will wait and do with darker thread, because it's going to look better. The teal, I think, could be white, or it could be black. I haven't decided yet, but the blue definitely needs to go with a black thread, because otherwise it's going to be too much contrast, and any little wave or wobble off of anything is going to be seen. So given my luck right now, we are just going to do it. Actually, no, never mind. The blue looked good with white top stitching, so let's just stitch these open. Basically the seams just get folded down like that. Am I supposed to throw it on iron? Yes. Am I going to? No. This is kind of a theme. There we go. Could you tell the difference? Maybe, but I don't think so. And I'm even going to change my reading skills. Well, thankfully, it's only a 5K. I would not be on if it was a marathon right now. Good God, I would be dead. I'll have to do it, like, next time I run a marathon, when I run a marathon, I'll have to take a before and after picture. I kind of did that today for before and after for the 5K. But, yeah, I definitely need to do it after the marathon. Current plan we're sticking to right now is I'm going to do the Victoria Marathon next year still. And then that'll determine, no, wait. Oh, just as a test run, basically, because it's going to emulate a lot of the qualities of whatever run I hopefully am able to do in Japan in 26. Yeah, I was like, that's what's going to determine what I'm going to like sign up for. But signups will have been long done by October, which is when Victoria runs. But I'm going to run the half in Calgary again next year, and that will determine if I do Kyoto or Nagoya. Nagoya will be awesome because they do the Tiffany necklaces, and so it's like a mini medal that I could wear all the time. It wouldn't go on my medal wall. It would just go straight on my, like, I've got a really nice chain from Dallas with like a heart pendant, and so it'd probably go on that pendant with the heart. And then I could wear it all the time. It would be cool. Well, maybe not all the time. The kids still like to grab necklaces. I looked back today because my eldest was like, look at me. And they still had their medal, and they'd like twisted the ribbon all the way up to their neck. And I'm like, no. I was quite abrupt about the request to, no, it's not a request. Quite abrupt about the command to, like, you do not do that. Get it unraveled or it's coming off right now. Like, and if they hadn't listened, I was going to get Dallas to pull over and we were going to take it off. Because, kid, no. Not cool. Anyway, they like to do that with my necklaces too, like, but mostly pulling it down, and I'm always worried they're going to break. Because they don't know their own brute strength. Okay. I think the next part is actually the difficult part. No, we're not doing zipper pockets in these as well. We're just doing a straightforward bag with the thing. The next thing is the very exciting zipper tabs. Do you hear how excited I am? Okay. 5-inch or longer pocket. 17-inch or longer nylon coil main zipper. 4.5 or number 5 width recommended. Okay, so this is actually one of the differences that I will have between the old bags and the new bags. Is old bags, I didn't realize that it was supposed to be a 4.5 or 5-inch wide zipper. 17-inch or longer. Okay. So that would have really messed up the dimensions and actually made it quite a bit significantly harder to actually sew the bag. Because I was sewing with number 3 zippers because that's what I had on hand. Live and learn sort of thing, right? So we need a 17-inch or longer zipper, and then they get you to cut it down. Okay, measure about that far from the folded edge of the zipper tab. Okay, so I'm only going to cut it to 17 inches. Only. But I'm going to cut it to 17 inches because then it'll be easier to follow the instructions. Now, I've got white and gold. I've got white and rainbow. I've got this, there's this really cool blue that I think is going to actually go with the mirror flowers quite nicely. So this is mirror flowers. These are the connectors. Those are the zipper tabs. I have my other like alternative spaghetti monsters of zippers behind me right here. So I think this is going to look really good. Ooh. Okay, so the background of the mirror flowers is a little bit more gray. Although when you look at that, yeah, it's almost too blue, I think. Seeing it on camera, oh no, there we go. I just had to bring it into the realm of the ring light. Yeah, I think that's too blue, personally. I also have, so in that case, with how dark it is, I think probably black with gold is going to look best. Yeah, that's going to look basically black acting as a neutral, right? So, right, and I did remember to bring over my zip pulls, because the other one I could do is I've got black with silver, actually. And considering that the back, okay, one more. 1 second, black with silver might be it. I've also, or navy gold. Okay, 2 more options. Okay, so there's navy and gold, which does look way better than that kind of It's almost like a green blue, teal blue. Navy and gold would actually look decent. And how would, yeah, because navy and gold would be quite nice against that. Or we have black and gold, which looks washed out in comparison to the bag itself. So we're going to go with the navy and gold. Yeah, navy and gold. Okay. For this one. And then for the other one, which is this, like with the hot pink and the gold. Do you know what? A white and gold might look really good with this then. Because of the, like, kind of mostly white flower. Okay, where'd your end up? Because I don't want to pull the spaghetti monster completely apart. There's one end. Oh, it's just a loop that's come loose. Okay. I did finally call the electrician shop and I was like, so what do you do with your like spools? Because I could use some spools, even if she's like, well, I think we'd return them for deposit. I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy to like pay the deposit if that's all it is to get them. And then she's like, called me back and she's like, no, you actually just throw them out. So I'll try and get the guys to keep some. I think white and gold. Looks fairly stark though. So maybe it needs to be black and gold. It definitely needs to be gold because of the gold embroidery. The black and gold's really stark though too. So I wonder if this is the one that odd kind of blue color should go with. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there it is. Because basically just looks like a darker tone with the background there. Okay. Okay, so 17 inches of those two. 17 inches of both of you. And then it's getting cut down from that. So it's like 17 inches or longer, but we're going to cut it to the minimum length because that honestly gets 2 to 3 inches taken off of it just right away, basically. So we're going to ignore the or more. Okay. So that is there, and that is, I'll scoot it a bit just for any, I'll do like an 18-inch zipper just for the whole, well, I guess I just said that it's still going to be trimmed down anyway, so I don't know why I actually did that. Never mind. I'm doing it because I was like, I need to trim it down because of the fray on the edges, but you're going to trim it down anyway, Katie. And it's getting zipper tabs, so, oh well, whatever. Okay, now we need navy gold, trim down this edge here so it's a little bit straighter, hopefully, like that, and then pull it down like this, and then I'm just gonna double check it because now it's looking really blue and I'm kind of second guessing it. I think it's right. Not the navy gold is set. That's gonna look absolutely amazing with the floral mirror. Whatever, that one's fine. But this one, no, I think it's good. I think it's good. It looks like it's just like a deeper tone of the background. Yeah, let's go with it. Okay, so now it wants me to do zipper tabs. And I think at this point I'm just going to call it at 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. Because I need to sleep and I still have class tomorrow. Okay. Trim the end of the zipper. Okay. Pin and, oh, I need to put the zipper pulls on. And the jig is somewhere in this disaster. Okay, so here's the zipper pulls. They're super cool. Long, nice zipper pulls. But these were a beast to get installed the other day without the zipper jig. So I picked up the zipper jig and I put it on the desk, right? Yeah, there it is. Haha. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I anticipated it being. Should actually see what the Heidi needs while I'm at this, but I don't want to have to dig through the pile for the Heidi right now. Oh well. Okay, so pin and exterior zipper tab. No. Zip pulls first. Okay, so this is the 5 side, which means we need to actually put it in this direction. Ding. And then we're going to put it in like this. Nope, not like that. Like this. Come on. You know you wanna. 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 No, you don't wanna. Maybe the other end. Sometimes I do find that there's a little bit of directionality with these. And they, like I said, they were a beast to put the zip pulls on the other day, so won't surprise me if they continue to do that. These are from a different supplier than my normal number 3 zipper tape, and because YKK does not supply metallic nylon coils, and I'm like, guys, why do you not sell metallic nylon coil? You're missing like a whole market bracket. And so here we are, struggling with zip pulls. Okay, let's try the other end again. Okay, so I know this side should be fine. Oh, I see. I almost need to like pull out the first couple teeth, I think. There we go. Alright, now it does have this warble in here. Basically all I do is I just zip it out, and then that'll be trimmed down later, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, there is one. So that was apparently the key, is just getting them both through to begin with, set up to actually zip, and using the zipper jig to actually get them. Heck, this one might not even need, of course that one doesn't even need the zipper jig. Excellent, I'll take it. I like not having to use the zipper jig if I don't have to. Okay, so there's two zipper pulls installed, ha ha ha. And if I put the zipper pull jig with the zipper pulls, that would actually make a lot of sense. What is this madness? Okay. Pin an exterior zipper tab near the end of the zipper, right side down against the top side of the zipper, with the right side of the zipper tab just before the metal zipper stops. Alright, we don't have any metal zipper stops. We just have zippers. I do not work with metal zippers because they are absolutely terrifying. At least nylon coil zippers I can like stitch over, so that's what these are. Alright, get out of here. Pin an exterior, oh, right, that's the funky blue, this is the navy blue. Pin an exterior zipper tab near the end of the zipper, right side down against the top side of the zipper, so like that, with the right edge of the zipper tab just before the metal zipper stops. But we don't have a metal zipper to stop, so we're good. We're just going to pop it under here. And normal seam allowance. Excellent. Stitchy, 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 stitchy. There we go. And then I'm going to just do the other one. Oh, wait, no, we got to do trim downs. So I may as well do both of these at this end, and then we'll do the trim downs. This one has the design on top and the non-design on the bottom, because that's what we had availability of. Over the nylon coil. So I do backstitch that quite a bit typically because high zippers get a crap ton of beating. Trim the end of the zipper about 1/4 inch past the stitching. Sure, that's 1/4 inch. Done. Okay. That is not a 1/4 inch. Very close though. Flip the tabs away from the zipper, wrong sides together, and press. Hey, look at, we're pressing. And then make sure that's basically the same width as the zipper. Cool. Cool. And then pin together and top stitch around all 4 sides. Okay. We can do this. I can do it. I can do it. Right, right. Very small seam allowance. And we're going to go back a stitch because high. Nope, we're going to go forward a stitch. There we go. Yay for hand cranks. Then we're going to go up here. Then we're going to go in one more stitch up here, like that. I'm on the fold, so everything's like, hello. Would you like to talk about your hand crank shank extended warranty? There we go. Good enough. That's all getting sewn into the bag, except for this bit here that you can see. Okay, and then we're going to do this on this other side, and then we'll trim it down to match the zipper. Right here, like that. Then we're going to flip it. I'm going to trim it down right here, like that. Then we're going to sew it. Then we'll do the other end. And then the zipper tabs will be done for this one. Yay! Hanging over, it's going to help me do anything. Good. Ow. That just lifted it. So I've got a knee lever. And my knee was like, we need to discuss your extended warranty about your knee. Something popped. Who knows what. Didn't hurt, so I'm going to go with it's going to be okay. There we go. Both zipper tabs done on this one end. Close the zipper. Oh yeah, it's just, never mind. It's not actually the knee. It's the knee pad like popping around the knee, which sounds disturbing. Oh right, what am I doing? We're gonna trim this. We gotta trim this down to the actual length that it's required to be. Okay, we've done that. And then we measure from the folded end of the zipper tab to the left and mark along the zipper tape. Move the zipper pull to be to the right of that measurement. Okay, so we should be working like this is all, so that this is all to the left. Okay. Measure from the folded edge of the zipper tape to the left and mark along the zipper tape. Move the zipper pull to be to the right of that measurement and pin the remaining exterior zipper tab and lining zipper tab to the zipper the same way. So the left raw edges are exactly okay. So the left raw edges are the measurement amount. So I'm going to grab a couple pins because the only way to really mark this is with pins. Yes, that pin is horrendously bent. So we're measuring from the folded edge. Okay, so I'm going to unzip this a little bit, and then I'm going to do a little bit of math so that I don't have to go all the way across there. Okay, so it is right there. Just zip it in a little bit. Okay, right there. Pin it. Lay it out flat and pin it on the other side. Okay. And then actually probably what I can do is I'll take my marker in and actually mark it What I should have grabbed is my clear ruler that is actually down here that I think is actually over the amount we need. Ugh. The only issue with this ruler is that it is clear, but it's like it is ever so slightly in on this edge. And so it's kind of useless because it's like, well, if I need to actually mark it on that edge, I guess I could use that edge to measure. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Except now I'm running into the other issue of it's like slippy. And for some weird reason, not straight. Okay. Whatever. That is nearly correct. Okay, so we're going to go in and we're going to mark it with an area eraser. There we go. Sweet. Okay, that is far more accurate than it was. Okay, and then we're going to do the same, I guess, for this one, because that'll actually be easier. Zippers are... This style of zipper is super stressful. Not really. But it's not fun. I don't usually mind doing zippers. I obviously do a lot of zippers for the large box bags and the small box bags and all of that. But this sort of zipper work is just like, not fun. Hi, Delia. This is where I'm like, oh yeah, I totally get why beginner sewists are so terrified of zippers. Especially because it has to be so exact. Right, that is not... The start of the markings are there. And then this is going to go right here. Okay. And actually I'm going to zip it up past that mark. And then we're going to mark it here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Thank F that we only have two tonight, because... okay, now there's a whole bunch of very specific instructions again. Okay, so let's start with this one. Okay, pin the remaining. Move the zipper pull to be to the right of the measurement. Okay, we are to the right of the measurement. Done. Pin the remaining and lining to the zipper the same way. So the left raw edges are exactly on the measurement. Then sew along the tabs at the seam allowance. Okay. Okay, those are aligned. Those are aligned. So that is... This bag is worth it. This bag is worth it. This bag is worth it. I promise this bag is worth it. Just remember that. The bag is worth it. I think. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. Zipper tab. And then, Dahlia, the zipper is not your plaything right now. Please don't play with the zippers. Ow. That sounded like it probably hurt you more than it hurt me. He like jumped into my elbow and went thonk. And he was like jumping on my lap. Okay. That amount of seam allowance and go. Come on. Okay. Zipper tabs are installed. Now, obviously, there's going to be trim down and everything. I'll follow the instructions for trim down when I get there. Now, where's the other two pieces? The other two pieces are here. Okay. Now, that is past where we're putting the zipper tab. It's also very dark, so it's going to be hard to see because, of course. Okay, so it's right here. I don't know why that one was easier, but apparently it was. And then we're going to zip the zipper tabs or the zipper in together so that it's like actually. There we go. Here we go. Zippers. Zippers are stressful AF. Okay. Now, got this excess. Trim off the end of the zipper and then do Okay, and let's just make sure before I trim it down that this is exactly the measurement that it wants, because it is being like, it's 1/8 of an inch longer. If I scoot it, it is the right length. Yes, yes. And then it should measure about that with the zipper tabs. Yes. And yes. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so this needs to be trimmed off the end of the zipper. So I'm going to trim it down to the seam allowance amount, or whatever it called for on the other end. And then we're going to trim down the zipper tabs. Good. And then I'm going to do the same on this side, but we are going to double check it. Same thing. Are you the correct size? You are approximately the correct length with your zipper tabs. And then are you the correct amount of exposed zipper? No. No, you are not. What the hell? Ding. Minus the amount that they want me. Oh, no. It's close enough, I think. That would be a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's like a 1/4 inch over, actually. Okay. So we're gonna stitch it a little bit smaller, I think. I hate doing zipper tabs this way. Really, 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 really do. No, we're good. We're good? Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm gonna go with we're good. Shimmy shaking the zipper. Okay. Trim down the zipper tab here. I'm sure this is absolutely riveting. Oh. Okay. The underside is a little bit tighter, so I'm just going to make sure that it's mostly tacked down based on the underside, because basically this is just basting it together so that when I go to sew it in the seam, it's not freaking out about, like, I'm not freaking out that there's so many layers, and the machine's not freaking out that there's so many layers. That's like, ah, we're missing 3 layers because you didn't baste this all together, Katie. Did I learn my lesson from the flap? Kind of. Actually, I think if I had basted the top of some of those together, all of those together, we would have been a lot better off. So, lesson learned is I will make sure that I baste all of them together, I think, next time, and I think that will save me a significant amount of grief. Maybe. Who knows? Probably not. Something else will go wrong, and we'll change systems, and then I'll just be like, are these wallets actually worth making at this point? No, I like making those wallets. I will continue to make them. But there's definitely, like, I have my systems in place with the project bags because I've been making them for so long. And now that there's new products that I'm doing, it's just getting new processes in place takes a while because the learning curve on them is so wild. Even if you know all the basics for how to sew something, it's like you'll suddenly be like, oh, wait, that is a way more efficient to do X, Y, Z. Like, efficient way or whatever. All right. We're going to do more of the guts that are actually on the exterior of this, which means I'm going to sew the connector while I'm thinking about it here. And because they're just kind of floating over here, waiting to be sewn. So let's do those next. Do all the bits and bobs so that the bits and bobs are done and ready to go when we actually go to sew them. Okay, this is very specific. Oh my goodness, I forgot how specific some of it. I have not sewn these for a while. So they want me to start and stop at a specific width. They want me to do a seam. Okay, so I'm going to draw myself a box. This is so specific. Every step like this makes a better product, I hope. Right? Every step like this makes a better product, we hope. Bum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum. Okay, so that's the start-stop line. I'm going to do that across all 4 of these, just so I can just go in and sew them all, and everything will be happy and healthy. We need to start here and here, and then go down for the little box and the little box. Ding. And then you get a nice little box right there. Little boxes. Alright. Ding ding da ding ding da ding ding ding. Don't even know what that is, so I'm not going to continue it. Okay. Alright, this worked this way, because if I do that, then I can do a 1/2 inch line here, which is the seam allowance. And then if I just flip it, I don't have to think any much more. And there it is there. And then we're going to go across. I'm going to do that on, if I am smart, I will line it up with the 1/2 inch mark on the ruler to make the seam allowance. Yay! I did it. Okay, we're going to do the other connector. And we're not actually sewing a box. These edges of the boxes are so that I don't, because it very specifically says to leave a gap. So I'm marking the gap, minding the gap. I probably did not do that on the other connectors. I'm 100% sure I didn't do it this meticulously. Do I want to be doing it this meticulously right now? Hell no. I want to be putting these under the sewing machine and sewing. But here we are, behaving myself. Trying to get these done nicely. There we go. Every little extra step of prep is a good idea. Okay. Okay. Just checking the text messages that are coming in. I'm gonna scoot this. What did I say? 9:30? Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Okay. Be sure to backstitch at start stop and press the seam allowance to one side. Top stitch the seam to sew it. This will add strength. Yes. Okay. This will add strength because this is the highest stress point of the bag, is this connector. And actually to the point where I am just going to backstitch that seam as well. We're going to put 3 stitch lines in like that. Am I chain piecing them? Hell yes. We're just basically going to lift, push, and then put the next piece under. So we'll lift, push, and under. So I'm going to front and back stitch on that line, front and back stitch on this line, and I'm also going to do another reverse line, and then a forward line again. Like right in there. If my needle broke right now, I would be screwed completely. Should I be wearing safety glasses? 100%. I always figure that my glasses, though, are large enough that they're mostly going to save me from any catastrophe. I hope. I'll behave myself and sit up a little bit better. I don't know if that would actually be better or not, but whatever. That's what I'm doing. Reverse, 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 reverse. There's something. Oh, I bet you it's my belt. It's like something creaky under my machine, and I bet you it's the belt. Okay, let's see here. All right, last one. Last connector. There's more work to do on the connectors, so we'll do the rest of the work next. These are going to need a dark top stitch. So we're getting closer and closer to the stuff that we'll need. Ooh, that was a little bit fast. Oh well. Nothing went wrong this time. We're good. Anyway, this is part of what's going to hold me up a little bit on the old Sheena, is just deciding what kind of connectors I want to do, because I do not have the fabric for them. So I think the old Sheenas that have been cut and I've lost connectors for are going to get canvas, probably. I think that's going to be the sturdiest option. And actually, even the ones that are like only partially sewn, I think I'm going to take them apart and put a canvas back on them, because that will... And you could be like, Katie, why didn't you do a canvas back on these ones? Aesthetics. And actually, seriously, the Obi is so strong anyway that unless it's rotted, it's going to be just as strong because it's silk. So, not too worried about their strength. So basically what it's saying is I'm going to fold this over and stitch this down. Now this is going to go in for black top stitching. I'm not doing white top stitching on these, so for now I'm just going to fold it down. What did it? Oh right, those ones needed the, like, what did I decide on the pockets? But the pockets are going to need a iron. That's why they're delayed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is all of these are going to go back here, because that's the pile of waiting. And then I'm going to fold this over and we're going to stitch it to the exterior, because I want the, actually, if I stitch it to the, and if I stitch it to the interior line, then you will not see the top stitching. Fancy. Not invisible, but invisible top stitching. Okay. Wait. Okay, this... What? It was like so specific about making sure that I was working with that like length apart, but doesn't this just... Okay, press the seam allowance. Yeah, okay. Top stitch. Okay, yeah. And then sew. Okay. And then we're going to fold in, but isn't top stitching defeating the purpose of starting and stopping the seam where I did? I don't get it. Am I being obtuse and like I'm supposed to still be a 1/4 inch from the edge like I was with the seam? Because, like, this doesn't make sense. Or is it okay because we're folding this under? I don't know. Whatever. Alright. Most of the time, these patterns are, like, extremely clear. And then sometimes I hit a roadblock like that, and it's like, what? Okay. Both connector pieces, wrong side up. Fold each in. Oh no, that's totally supposed to be split on that end. Okay. It's in the diagram. So we'll open this up and then I'll run it over. It'd be nice if I'd clued into that before I stitch them. That things may not be as advertised. Okay. Because then what it does is it helps. We're folding this in, and so it helps keep the fold in straight. Okay, I see. I see. And then, although at the same, that's not matching the diagram. Do I need to perfectly match the diagram? No. We'll just do the thing. Flip over and top stitch up. Okay. And then this will leave it with like, it's supposed to be the right width for my connectors. Blah, 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 blah. And this is supposed to be wider on the bottom. I don't know. I don't think that made any difference opening up the seam. The top stitching will get tacked down, so I'm not worried about it opening it up. But it's like the diagram has these like turned different directions. Oh. Oh, okay, so that's where it, okay. There we go. That's where it makes the difference. Figured it out. Okay, so I'm going to clip that. Is that how far in it's supposed to go? No. Yes. Yes. With a little bit of a scooch there. Okay, now I think I got it. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Yes. I did it. Some days, some nights, some hours. My God. 2,000 hours later. Katie finally figured out how to do her connectors. Like I said, I hope this is riveting because, my God, am I bored. Project will be worth it. The process is not. I am such a product person. I love doing the product and having the product. I don't hate the process typically, but I am such a product person. It's like I'm only doing this because I get the product at the end. If you're ever debating the whole am I a process or product knitter, I'm totally a product knitter as well. I don't mind the process of knitting, but my God, am I there for that sweater and not the actual process of it. However, if someone handed me a like finished hand knitted sweater that they did themselves, I would 100% take it. Is one drawback to being a knitter in some ways is that then no one ever really knits for you. And so, like, even for the kiddos, there's very few knitted things because it's just me kind of knitting for them. Although I did get a very generous gift of the crocheter that I follow on Instagram that I met in Japan, of all places. They sent a crocheted cat for my eldest when they were born so that they could have a Remy. Which is so adorable. Alright. Now this has to be top stitched. I think all the way, part of the way. No, I only need to do it for an inch. Okay. Only 1 inch from the center seam on both sides in both directions. And then okay, I'm going to make sure that this is the right width for my hardware because it is not. Okay. So we are actually, I am going to change then the width at the very pinnacle up here so that it will match my hardware. Because there's no point in not matching the hardware that I'm already working with. Okay, almost. It basically just needs to come straight into the middle. And then it's still going to get lots of stitching done, so I'm not actually worried about any raw edges in it. Yeah, there we go. So I work with 1 inch hardware. We're going to make sure that this is a 1 inch connection. Given everything else, it's going to be fine. It'll actually probably add some strength to the connector area. Good. Okay. It's 1 inch right at the pinnacle. It wants me to sew 1 inch down at a certain seam allowance. Okay. So let's just draw that on because that is going to make the most amount of sense, I think. No, I'm just going to mark the inch points because that's what I'm going to need to know. So an inch point that is lined up there If this looks janky, it's because it kind of is. Actually, what I can do is I can clip the ruler. Ha! There we go. So it needs to be there, like that. And then the other side is right there. It's going to be harder because, of course, the embroidery is like not going to absorb any of the pen ink. Okay. We'll stitch this side first since the clip is already off. And then we're going to pop it right. It actually says that, and it's quite a large, generous seam allowance for this small space, but that's okay. And I'm going to actually front and back stitch there just a tick, because that is the stress point. And because this is so finicky, we're going to go very, very slow. All right, for this machine at least. There's one connector ready, and then the debate is going to be what color connector. I think we're just going to do black for these, mostly because that's all I have left right now. And then, yeah. Okay, so there is the start point, and that totally just sprung open a bit. Make sure that that's snuck back in. Move that clip up so it's out of the way. Okay, so these don't actually need to be here because I have zero bearing on current progress. Just that one. Okay. Quite a generous seam allowance. Stitch, 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 stitch. Back stitch at the beginning of that. And then front and back stitch here to the 1 inch point. I'm leaning way over my sewing machine still. Okay. There, so there is one of the connectors done and ready and dusted. Okay, and then we'll clip everything down because this is very visible otherwise. I'll get this one established and then I'll go get the, ooh, yeah, that is a nice sturdy connector there. Okay, actually I'll go grab the hardware now and we'll just make sure that this fits so that I don't set it aside and I'm like, we're all done, and we're not all done. Give me 1 second. Okay, I just got up and I'm really stiff. That's not good. So I'm thinking gold for this one because it's, and then I'll go gunmetal for the mirror floral because that'll be the one that's like the most neutral basically. I don't know how am I going to, okay, they can go under the clips. Cool, there we go, sweet. Good clips. Okay, so we're going to stuff this hardware on here. Just make sure that I've sewn it correctly. It's basically going to sit flat in the hardware. Yep, there we go. Good, that actually fits it really well, I think. Personally, I think that works really well. Okay. And then there's a bunch of very specific instructions for how to sew this in. Fold the connector in half at the seam, wrong sides together, and matching all edges, and press. Okay, so do these go under, like, are these supposed to remain folded? It looks like it. Maybe? That looks right. Actually, that looks better than I've had in the past. Now that I see it that way. Okay, cool. There we go, right there. There we go. Basically just matching it up so that we cannot see the interior on the exterior side here. Ding. Good, okay. And then it wants me to sew up a long edge until you reach the existing stitching, and then straight across the connector, and then down the other side. Okay, so I gotta match up with this seam. Okay. I can do it, right? I can totally do it. Okay, so we're gonna start on this side. I can do it. Oh, actually, let's make sure that that is properly placed in here, so that's like, because it is actually not as long on the back. Okay. There. Seam is right on the D-ring. Perfect. I want to sew it from the front, so we're just going to clip it with the flat edges of the clips on this side, and then I decide to sew up that side, so let's move this clip here and this clip here, and then we're all good. You can't see anything, and that will be within the seam allowance. All right. Let's go. Okay. So it wants me to go all side starting, sew up a long edge at the seam allowance until you reach the existing stitching, and then straight across the connector, then down the other side. So the diagram is showing that I just kind of meet up with this and then I stitch across, which I guess the D-ring really isn't going anywhere because it's like, it is snug. And that would make sense then that I wouldn't need to like stitch exactly, although the instructions make it sound like I need to stitch like right up to the connector. I don't know. Okay, turn, there. Oh, there we go. I just didn't lift the presser foot enough. Okay, didn't get enough pressure on the knee, the lifter. Okay. Yep. Sweet. There we go. There's the connector. Excellent. And that does look better than the previous ones that I've done, from what I remember doing before, and from like the partially sewn ones that I saw yesterday, to be honest. It looks like a nice sturdy rectangular connector that's going to actually fit into the bag shape that we're doing very well. I hope. Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I guess we're effing around and finding out, at least in a fun way right now. It's not very dire consequences if it doesn't come out right, so. Okay. I'm pulling the top stitching back just that tick. Yes, it has to be folded in further, but it does kind of ease it a little bit so that it looks more prettier, basically, is what I'm seeing of it. As long as I can find the stitching that actually needs to be picked out, we're good. There we go. Are we good? Almost. Not really. Come here. Not the interfacing, just the stitching. Thank you. And not the kimono or obi either. No, no, no. That does put it into timeout. Well, actually, replacing the connector is going to be a lot easier than replacing a whole back, like, interior side of a wallet, to be honest. So, alright, so these basically have to fold right into the middle, like that, right there. There you go. And then just, yeah, basically what it does is it gives that seam breathing space to be able to be angled still. That's what I'm seeing. And we'll fuss with this and make sure that it is the right width. Scoot these just north and south of the actual seam. Yes, we're good. Okay, and then we only need to sew 1 inch above and 1 inch below. So going to throw this here, and we're just going to mark straight across, and at the 2-inch mark, which I'm not going to be able to see anyway, so we'll start on this side because they're going to fade much faster. Actually, not as bad on this side. Cool. Okay, and then we'll take the ruler out and put the clip back in. Come on, clip. Come on, clip. You know you want to. Okay, then we're going to make sure that it spreads correctly. A little bit of a clip there. Just making sure that like this seam allowance is not too much and it's not too little, because we have to mess with the top seam allowance so much to make sure that the hardware fits. Same here. One here. Just underneath so that it doesn't actually get in the way of sewing. That one stays there for now. I'm going to do a nice spread out right there, because yeah, that's definitely folded under more than it should be. Although I guess it really doesn't matter as long as the bottom matches and they match each other when you fold it over, realistically. Okay. Move that clip again, because the presser foot also acts as a sewing tool in the fact that it keeps everything pressed down. Okay. Probably a little bit closer to the edge than it needs to be, but it's going to get everything held in place. So that is its main job. Why are you cranky? Because I didn't lift you high enough. Okay. We'll trim these down here, and we'll turn and stitch the other side. Why are you cranky? It's just the consistent question. Why are you cranky? It's like with toddlers. Why are you cranky? I never quite know. In the sewing, it's like, why are you cranky? And it's like, oh. Alright, there is the line. We've done it. Again. Okay. Now the other one will get done, but it will get done with black thread because it's a really dark blue, and the black thread will honestly blend in far better. I think, personally, I think that's going to be the best choice. Okay. This would be, the white thread would be too stark against the blue, that's for sure. So that's what we're going with. Oh my goodness. Yep, no, my hips, the back hips, like, you went and ran a 5K, and now you're sore. Yeah, this is turning out really well. This is like the super fiddly bits. So, and I am misconstruing instructions because the diagram is showing one thing and the instructions are saying something else. So we just had a little bit of a kerfuffle with the top stitching, but we're back on track now. There, so we're going to kind of do, that's good. It fits, that's the important part. The exteriors match and aren't visible from either side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other one as a template. They look like the little ghosts that you make out of tissues in Japan, to hope that it doesn't rain. But yeah, this is looking a lot better than what I was making out of, like, for the connectors previously, that's for sure. So, yay. I know I totally said that I was going to, like, head out at 9:30, but maybe we're going to push it to 10. I don't want to be too late because we got to be up tomorrow to get the kiddos to school. But Dallas did pack their lunches already, so that will be a time saving in the morning, because we kind of slacked off on packing their lunches. But because we had the party today, there's a lot of party food left over, so it's like, well, that makes that easy, because it's all kind of like just nibbly stuff, because that was the commitment. I'm like, I do not feel like cooking everyone a meal tonight or purchasing a meal for tonight, this afternoon. So I'm like, we're going to put it as an afternoon party and just do nibbles. It's like garlic sausage and cheese and crackers, and we had some like air fryer grilled cheeses that were actually really good. And egg rolls from Costco. They were delicious. Okay, those were comparable. This needs a little bit of tuck on the front. There. Okay. So we've got the zipper tabs onto the zippers. They are completed. Now we're doing these connectors. Kind of doing, again, the same as like for the wallets. We're doing a lot of the guts to get it done before I have to do any ironing or anything like that, because it just makes sense to only have to iron once, really. Or at least try and get as much of the ironing done at the same time as possible. And tomorrow I will bring over the iron and I will set it up on the cart to like so that we can just iron right here as we need, sort of thing. Whee! All right, there are both the connector pieces, and yeah, that looks like a lot more stable connector. I actually understand the shape now and like how it's going to insert into the bag. It's going to be better. I'm going to trim down this little bit of a flare here because that will make it easier to see the stitch line. There we go. And then these are going to get a cotton webbing strap to begin with. Black cotton webbing strap. I will use metal fittings because that makes sense. And then it will be a leather strap for upgrade, just to help keep the costs down for everyone. Because it's not inexpensive to make straps. Okay, so that is actually the last step to finish the things. So what needs to be done next? Okay, we're not doing that. Those need to go under the iron, so I'm not doing that yet. I think we're at the point where it is actually zipper installation time. Is that something I want to tackle tonight while I'm tired, or should I move on to the Heidi? Are the Heidi any easier? Because I'm pretty sure they've got like kind of a hidden... got like a hidden zipper. Okay, that might be a good place to call it then. Materials needed for small wristlet. That's a very tiny zipper. All right. What do you need? That is also a really small zipper. Okay. Now let's try and tackle the... I think I can do the Sheena zippers. So that'll basically get the exteriors more or less finished. And then, yeah, okay. So we will be sewing all 4 of the main panels to the zipper before they are sewn to the gusset, because the gusset is what needs top stitching. So if I get all the panels sewn into the bag, then all we have to do is top stitch and install the gusset. Okay. The main zipper face down. Pin or clip it to the right side of the exterior main pocket. Tabs in place first at the top. Make sure the zipper is closed and the zipper pull is to the left. Okay, that's the important bit. Okay. Let's do the one I'm most excited about because that will help. That'll help. Okay. I had to go in and apply a little bit more interfacing on this one the other day, yesterday, just because I had to fold out the seam so much that didn't have interfacing. Okay. So zipper to the left. Sew the matched edge at a quarter for seam the zippers that are 1 inch or less, and sew it this for zippers that are wider. Okay. What width of zipper are we working with? We are working with the wider of the 2 zippers. Okay. With the main pocket, pin or clip it. Matching the long edge. Okay. pin the zipper tabs in place first at the tops of the curves, and then we'll work it through the rest. All right, here we go. So this is the one that I'm counting as the teal bag. I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, the back of this Obi is definitely teal. The front of this Obi is not very teal. Especially when you start adding more blue accents, it definitely pulls more of the blue tone of the actual colorway out. Okay. Let's see what I can do. I did these perfectly fine the first few rounds that I did it, and now I'm like, can I do it? Except it's like that Gabrielle bag really messed up my confidence with curved zippers like this. But I think it looks good. Okay, I'm gonna clip it in the middle here as well. And then actually I am going to go in and snip the main part of the curve before I even sew it. I'm not going to clip it very wide. This is maybe 1/8 of an inch into the zipper, but that is going to ease it as I'm even sewing it in. And then I'll trim it a little. I'll trim the edge and the zipper after we've actually sewn it all in as well. But I saw this hack for sewing curved zippers the other day, and I'm like, I bet you that would be better. And honestly, I think it's probably a little bit easier to sew a larger curved zipper than the one on the Gabrielle, because the Gabrielle one was like pretty small and tight working spaces. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I decided to try out a new purse pattern the other day because it takes up a significantly less Obi than the Sheena, and so I was like, all right. But what I decided to do, and this was a smart move I found out, is I decided to actually do it in like a cotton linen blend. I did swap out a few of the fabric choices or the interfacing choices, which was a poor decision on my part, not a decision of the pattern. But the one issue that I did really have is that the zipper looks terrible. And then the other issue I ended up having is that it is a shoulder bag, but for me, even with broader shoulders, it was like popping off the edge of my shoulder when it was actually like my arm was down. So I'm like, okay, so one of the big things we're going to change is I am going to make it in, like, I think it's a good size and I think it's an excellent shape. I think it's like, it's very clearly written. It's an easy pattern, but I need more practice with the zipper in small spaces apparently, personally. And I need also to swap that strap out. So I think what I'm going to do is I won't do the regular webbing strap on it, but I'm going to swap that one to the cotton strap as well. It's really tempting to swap all of my stuff to the cotton webbing because I think it is a nicer feel, to be honest. But the ease of like the polypropylene is just so nice. And the expense, actually. Cotton webbing is not cheap either. Alrighty, let's see. So I need it to be just right there. I am not using my zipper foot because, as you saw earlier, my zipper foot fights me. We are going to use the stiletto though, maybe. Okay, fingers crossed. This goes so smooth. So smooth. Sometimes it's oh so rough. Okay. We're starting. Actually, what is the rest of the instructions? 1 second. Sew at. Seam allowances here are important. So if you can't get close enough to the zipper teeth, try switching to a zipper foot. No. Now. And then we're going to do the main panel, lining main panel, right sides together and matching all raw edges. And then sew directly over the one that I'm putting in. And then we would flip it and we will top stitch it. Okay. And then repeat. Okay. So let's just go slow. And then I'm going to just ease this around, I think. Hopefully. Come on, zipper. Okay, we're past the zipper pole, so that's a nice landmark I didn't even know we were close to. Oh, curved zippers, how lovely. Good to see you again. Please don't kick my ass this time. I like how I'm like, I'm gonna use the stiletto, and now the stiletto is just like, it's too many hands. Not enough food to cook. Okay, I think this one actually went in better than the Gabrielle. But I should be able to tell once we actually get this finished, hopefully. That was the other thing, is I could not tell that it was wavy until I was basically done finished, like sewing the bag. I'm like, ah, crap. Can I tell? No, because like, okay, so it's very well put in if it was going this way, but like what happens when it has, oh, I didn't catch it there. Okay. I'm going to sew right there quick, and then we'll take another look. Seam allowances are very, oh, it's because it's where the zipper pull was. That will open up the rest of the zipper pull, because that will actually help me sew the curve here. There we go. Okay. Alright. So yeah, like this is very nicely established for a zipper that needs to go up, but the issue is that it's supposed to go down. So now I cannot tell if it's going to be good or not. I think it's going to be good, because like it's supposed to curve this way. I think we're okay. I hope we're okay. Well, I guess the only thing to do, it really is to like do the other side. Oh, it's so good. It's going to be so good. Okay. I'll stop admiring, and we'll just go in and sew the other side of the zipper. Sew the other side of the zipper. The other panel in, and then we'll sew the other main panel in, and then I'm calling it a night, because I am done with this stress. I could do the other one, but I don't want to. I'm scared. I know doing things scared is good too, but my God. Alright. Let's hide the sins of the extra seam. Okay, so basically what I need to do is I need to match these to this again. Everything's lined up, so like it should be okay. Please be okay, please be okay, please be okay. No, you need to be lined up. Thank you. Then you just are gonna have to behave yourself. Please. Please behave yourself. Like I said, I am not scared of zippers, but I am right now absolutely terrified of curved zippers. Rightfully so. They kicked my butt. It's also not caught right there, so we're gonna have to go in and do that again as well. Good thing, because we're gonna stitch the lining piece in anyway, and we gotta stitch it from the front. So, lesson learned, just stitch the zipper in from the front, because I will have less skipped areas of fabric if I do it that way. That's fine. It's all good. It's all fine. It'll all be fine. Okay, and one more. Okay, actually, we might just do this panel, and then I'm going to call it quits, because I'm just like, Apparently, I was not mentally prepared for sewing in zippers tonight. Okay. Presser foot helps hold it down. I'm going to shimmy it to where it's supposed to be. And we're going to sew it. And it's going to behave itself, right? Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Behave. Okay, so that's where the stiletto would come in handy, is just holding this as it goes under the teeth instead of my fingers going under the teeth. That's the whole point of the stiletto. Because if I break a needle, I break a needle. If I sew through my finger, that is a lot of time off work. Major injury. And this is one of those machines that can 100% sew through your finger. Okay. Please be okay, please be okay, please be okay. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely the last zipper, and then I'm going to bed. Okay. Alright. There we go. I think we've done it. I think I've done it. I think I've done it. Okay. Is this... Yeah, look at that. That's a nice installation of the zipper. I'm almost done. This is like too much stress for tonight. Dallas just came down to collect me, so perfect timing on getting this front finished. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I still can't tell if that zipper is actually properly installed or not. I will, I guess, find out when we do the other side, because that's the sucky part about curved zippers. But this will also need to go in and get pressed and top stitched. So since we've got a lot backing up there, I'll come down and I'll finish this up tomorrow, and then we'll move on to like top stitching everything as well. Like I said, it's very well installed if it had to go that way for sure, but the flip is where the question mark is going to be. It is so pretty though. So we're going to admire it for a moment, and then it's totally bedtime. So thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate it. I will be back on tomorrow. Same bat place, different bat time. Again, if you subscribe and hit the bell icon, obviously that'll get you my information as soon as I go live. Oh, it's gonna be, well, see, now it's warbly. Okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm going to clip that down a bit more, because I think that's what's actually happening then. And I think once it gets sewn on the other side, it's going to get rid of that wave. This is the part that is concerning right now, is there's a wave right here. So fingers crossed I can get that sorted tomorrow. So we're going to open this back up to remind myself, and you are totally allowed to yell at me tomorrow, clip your edges, Katie. That hopefully I will clip my edges tomorrow morning. We do have errands. So yeah, the best way to find out is to make sure that you are subscribed or you are on my Instagram, and that will lead you directly here when I actually do get online. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll chat with you all.